Right.
Hold on. Almost there.
Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes? What about beer? If so, this may be the podcast for you.
Brick,
Yeah?
you're talking like that again.
Well, we are cutting an introduction for our podcast.
Do you think we should maybe crack a beer first?
I shouldn't. Do it.
Welcome to episode 40 of Galaxy of Heroes. I am Darth Darkett, and I am joined, as always, by the hardest meat man in the galaxy, Brick Hard Meat. On today's episode, we share our boost, boasts, and beers. We check out all the transparency that CG has to offer in their most recent Q&A. We head to the Outer Rim for some Cara Dune and Grief Karga events, but most importantly, we have Jacob from the Spice Den podcast on today to talk through our reactions to Season 2 of the Clone Wars. But first, let's jump into the cantina. I don't know about you guys, but I've been drinking pretty steadily for the last 3 hours. So this is now my fifth beer, but my first beer in our cantina segment. We are doing Great Lakes Brewing today on the cantina, and thank you to Jacob from the Spice Den podcast for recommending Great Lakes Brewing. It's one that we can both get here in Michigan and in the Pennsylvania, right?
North Carolina.
North Carolina. You know.
Almost. That's where that fifth beer came in.
Close enough.
Not close at all. Geographically, not close at all.
Oh,
right.
man.
Let's crack our Great Lakes IPA open, guys.
All right.
Can't crack is the bottle for us. Great Lakes always has some very potent dark beers, stouts that I've had that I really enjoy. The Edmund Fitzgerald is one that we get quite a bit up here that I like. I forget the style of that. I think it's a stout, right?
I believe so. Yeah, that's another one I looked at when grabbing my second.
This one's got a great aroma on it. Very earthy. A little bit of citrus. A lot of citrus, actually. Rick, you got yours open?
Hope it's girthy. Yeah. Cheers. Cheers, boys.
Cheers, y'all.
Cheers.
Yeah, this is really good.
Ooh.
I like it a lot. It's well balanced. It's got the good aroma, and then you get the kick there, kind of middle of the palate. I would give this one a solid 5 with omegas.
I like that. Yeah, I'd go 5. That's a good IPA.
Yeah, I would agree. Not to be boring, but I will also go 5.
It's okay. You can be boring.
We'll throw some really solid speed mods on there, though, to make it interesting. Yeah,
I like it.
Get it down there faster.
I like where your head's at.
Get it moving, get it flowing. Great Lakes IPA is 6.5%, 50 IBU, so not overly bitter. They made this to celebrate their family of employee owners. We crafted a lightly filtered citrus-forward IPA that's as bright and approachable as our crew. Hard work never tasted so good. It is flavor, dry hopped, easy drinking American IPA by the people, for the people. And they tell me that it pairs well with steak, tater tots, and camaraderie.
I eat everything. I drink anything with steak.
Yeah, I mean, steak and wine.
Yeah.
Steak and Miller High Life.
Absolutely anything.
I mean, it is the champagne of beers.
Yeah, it's a great lawnmower beer right there, I tell you. Great Lakes Brewing Company is a brewery and brew pub in Cleveland, Ohio. It was the first brew pub and microbrewery in the state. Great Lakes Brewing has been noted as important to Cleveland's local identity, and it's one of the initial forces behind the revival of the Ohio City neighborhood on the west side. In 2015, it was the 21st largest craft brewery by volume and the 28th largest overall brewery in the U.S. The company was established in '88 by Patrick and Daniel Conway. And yeah, that's about it for the brewery. It is easily sometimes confused by Great Lakes Brewery, which is in Canada. So Great Lakes Brewing Company is totally different from them.
I don't
More
like that they stole the Great Lakes moniker, considering they're from Ohio.
Ohio and Canada have stolen the Great Lakes from us somehow.
I mean, Canada does touch more Great Lakes than you if you're looking at it that way.
Whoa.
That is true.
We are the Great Lakes state,
Yeah,
technically. And we're Americans, so we take priority over the Canadians.
Well, this is true. Yeah.
You know, just sorry, guys. It's just.
And I mean, really, Lake Erie's more of a downgrade, anyways. So at the end of the day, I think it's about equal.
Lake Erie, absolute trash.
Yeah, it's a garbage lake.
Literally.
Yeah, I've fished on it a few times, caught some walleye.
They have 3 eyes.
I'm sad to say I probably ate them, and that's why I am the way I am. So maybe it's not a bad thing.
Did it taste like broken glass?
This walleye is awfully plutonium tasting today, Dad. What's up with that? No, it's good. Just pan fry it. If you cover fish in enough batter, it doesn't matter. It's basically safe.
For those of you watching on our live stream on YouTube or watching this later after our live stream, you see that we have new virtual backgrounds brought to you by StarWars.com. Bricks blends very well into his basement. You can see the drop ceiling coming down from his cantina.
Yeah, the cantina's in renovation actually right now. It's not quite, doesn't quite fit the motif and the 40-inch smart TV or a Sharp TV.
It's very meta because, like, you know, the cantina is anywhere that you go, anywhere that you are, right?
It's true.
It's kind of a meta thing.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump into our Boost, Boast, and Beers, and I think we're going to start with Jacob, our guest.
Oh, boy.
Jacob.
What'd you do this week or
Were you
last
boosting?
time?
What were you boasting?
What were you beering?
Yeah,
I've been doing a lot. I've been doing a lot of beering. Like, my day drinking has skyrocketed since work from home started.
Yes, it has. Me too.
Yeah. But no, I've had some in the past like week or so. I've had a few cool things happen on my account. I think it was the last time I was here when we talked Phantom Menace. I had unlocked CLS.
Yeah.
And very similar this time I unlocked JTR. So
nice.
You got JTR
milestones.
Yeah. I actually.
Awesome.
So I was originally we were planning to do this 2 weeks ago, and I literally unlocked it that day. I'm like, oh sweet, this is so timely. And then it's like, well, we'll have to hold off on that. But yeah, no, JTRs. You got JTR, which is really exciting because my guild is about to try and move up to heroic Sith. Right, we've been doing tier 6 for a while, so she'll definitely help out with P1 a lot.
Perfect.
Yeah, got her unlocked. I also got 5-star Chewie this week because I've been hitting Bosk and Django's nodes pretty hard.
Nice.
A little behind on that, but yeah, I'm getting there. But yeah, the guild's going to heroic Sith, and also we're gonna start trying Dark Side Geo and get absolutely destroyed. But
yep.
Even if you get destroyed, you'll still get that get to currency.
Yeah, that's basically where we're at. It's like, well, we could get like maybe 5 stars, but that's more get currency than we can get at Hoth, so might as well at this point.
Yeah.
We'll send you some spreadsheets. I don't know if you're into that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But the spreadsheets definitely can show you like where to put what resources when and like when to hold back from not achieving the star.
Right.
We've done a lot of the annoying, boring legwork. Not we, but other people. So you might as well like use the tools that are out there to maximize what you can do, you know? So.
Right. Yeah. I actually got to help out a little bit. I started putting together farming guides for my guild. I put together a teams list based on some recommendations from people for teams to focus on.
Yep.
And then interesting thing came out of that. I started doing that more for the like guild collective I'm in, and I got to put together someone's super crazy like experimental farming guide for a new game. Instead of doing like geos or Phoenix or something like that, their strategy was to go all in on first order to try and unlock finalizer, so you could get the top fleet currency really quickly and get crystals that way. So that was interesting. But yeah,
Nice.
but yeah, one last boast, because I'm I drink a lot and have nothing else to do with my free time. I became a certified beer server through the Cicerone program.
Oh, nice.
So
What's that?
basically, do you know what
What are those
sommelier
words?
is? Yeah. Do you know what? So Cicerone is a program that's kind of newer, but it's sommelier for beer, more or less. And there's 4 tiers. The lowest is just certified beer server. It's like something that someone that works at like a nice craft beer bar would get. But I get a cool pin and I put it on my LinkedIn profile because I'm bored. So
Nice.
that's what I've been doing with my quarantine time.
That's sweet. All about them beers.
We want to hear about your GAC too, because that's going to be part of our.
Oh, it was bad. It was
Mine too.
bad.
It's funny you bring that up.
Yeah, I'm at like 1.2 million now. And I just don't have like I've been working on it. I know what I need to do. I just don't have a good counter for geos now. So if anyone sticks them on the front wall, I'm kind of just screwed.
Yeah, that's
So.
tough early game if you don't have a
Yeah,
counter
like
for it.
I also don't remember because I just put on I just put my Zeta on Palpatine, so it helps now. But I don't think I got that in before this lock. So hopefully it'll help out next time.
Yeah, anymore I'm trying to like save my join for GAC for sure, for like when I do the significant upgrades.
Mm-hmm.
I'll talk about the one that I'm like holding off on for right now, but like it depends on like how often you go on the game and like if you want to join immediately or not. I'm trying to not to maximize like some of the teams that I'm upgrading. I did one major upgrade this evening that I'll talk about in a second, and I'm going to do one in the morning. And like, I just want to make sure I get the right stuff, because if I'm not like maximizing that, I'll definitely be holding myself back from like beating some of these hard teams. So whereas like in territory wars, you can like back out and rejoin, I wish you could do that in GAC. It's kind of stupid that you can't.
Yeah, they mentioned it in the Q&A that we'll touch on. They can add it, but aren't. They could if they wanted to, but aren't. I don't know.
Brick.
All right. So brick hard meat, not a whole lot. Up boost wise, I did put B2 to gear 12. I was way off on my malevolence unlock prediction last week. I still need 20 shards. So dark side GOTP is coming up, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I should get 6,100 get to if we get somewhere around 26 stars. So that should be enough, I think. I could be wrong again. We'll see. But I'm looking forward to that. Also trying to kind of get my ships for the Malevolent squad. Considering taking Sunfok up to gear 13, but I don't want it to detract too much from my gas farming.
Yeah.
For the Clash on Camino event. So I'm considering it. And then on GAC, I ended up going 2-1. Round one. Oh, just to clarify too, last week I said a bunch of wrong shit. In our bracket in Division 3, 1750 is a fantastic score. I think I criticized one of your opponents because they only scored 1741. Dark Hip.
Oh, 1741. That's garbage.
But that's very good. Like that's a very good score.
Yeah.
And I say that because I realized that as I was playing through this round, I scored 1723 in round one, my opponent did, and they didn't fail on a single attack.
Oh.
So they just weren't super efficient. But that's still, I mean, if you can get a full clear and not stumble on anybody's
That's awesome.
defense, I mean, yeah, that's great. So basically, I guess I'm going to put it at 7. If you're over 1720, you've done well. Anything above that, you're doing really good or fantastic if you're in the 1750s. I think I got 1752 once. Just everything went right. Anyway,
Let's say anything in the 1700s, because that's you have to full clear at that point, right?
yeah. I don't think. I guess it depends on
1720s
your
is like
efficiency.
1720 is like you've cleared with like regular efficiency, like you haven't had to go
Yeah.
in twice
I think so. Yeah.
for the most part.
So round 1, I lost my first round. I lost 1723 to 1400 ish. It took me 2 attempts to take out their Jedi Knight Revan on defense. They had an R5 Grandmaster Yoda, and all of the rest were Gear 12.
Okay.
So I don't have a problem taking out Jedi Knight Revans. Normally, I just use my Night Sisters and I take out I can take out fully Relic Jedi Knight Revan teams with that squad. So it was really weird that I lost. I looked back at it, and I actually they all had 6E mods and were just like they just were beasted out. I don't know.
So
I just
Yoda was like way too fast for you, basically. Like you
I
couldn't.
think so. Yeah.
Did you clear anybody on your first attempt when you took Night Sisters in? Did you get anybody out?
Well, I think I started. No, I did go in with Night Sisters, and then I don't know what I finished them off with. I can't remember. Or no, I guess I couldn't get past them. Yeah, I failed on Night Sisters, and I didn't have another counter. So,
Okay.
um,
But you didn't take any characters out in that first attempt?
I don't think so.
Yeah. That's always disheartening when like you go in and like, here's my best counter for this squad, and then like you can't take a single tune out, you know?
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I might have tried going with Padme first, and then I cleaned them up with my Night Sister. I can't remember. I guess it doesn't really matter. But at the end of the day, they had them well modded, and props to them.
Yeah.
And then I failed on Geos with Darth Revan, which was annoying. Lately, Geos have been giving me trouble for whatever reason. They've just, I don't know. I've tried a few different things. Like I only have a Gear 12 Darth Revan, but he's super fast with Bastila, and then kind of like a hodgepodge of Empire characters, so like Palpatine and Thrawn and Vader. It's not the best synergies, but it seems to be winning maybe 50% of the time, which isn't good enough. But I've got something in the works for that. I'm going to start doing an Empire team. I'm gonna try and just go straight like my old arena team. I'll let you know how it goes. So it'll just be like Palp lead with Vader, and then I'm gonna have my R5 crew.
Yeah.
Because he'll just keep taunting. I don't know how it's going to work, though, because with Sun Fox Basic dispelling taunt constantly, I don't know how well he's going to be able to hold their attention. But that seems to be the problem, is that once they focus on one person on the team, they'd whack them down to like half health or kill them on the first salvo. So that's not good. But I don't know. I'm working on it. And then round 2, I won 1743 to 1555. They went too heavy on defense, and my subpar defense got multiple holds. So they just went too heavy and then failed on those attempts. And then similarly, that same thing kind of happened on my round 3 win. I won 1728 to 995. I had a tough opponent. They had a pretty strong defense, very similar to my first one that I lost. But I was able to full clear, and it was dicey too, because 1728 indicates that I lost a few people, like my resistance. I lost a few people. I think I lost Resistance Trooper and Stick Ray in that fight because against Old Republic. So it was like, I was down to Finn, BB-8, and JTR. So didn't really go as planned, and then that happened again. I forget on another attack attempt that I had. I didn't end it with 5 members, which I typically do when I clear out a territory. So had a strong opponent, and then I even beefed up my defense because I scouted them ahead of time, and I saw that they were going really heavy on offense, but then also putting like a semi decent defense out there. So I threw my Geos and General Grievous on defense, and my Grievous got 3 holds, and based on those 3 holds, they just depleted the rest of their roster and couldn't clear me at all, and they only scored 995. They couldn't even get the fleets, and they had a tough negotiator on offense. So I was happy with that at least. So I went 2-1, ended it in 4th place. But hoping, I don't know if I'm gonna make Kyber. I'm like halfway at this point. Maybe we'll see. Sorry, I'm almost done. Darth,
yeah, go ahead.
Brick Hard Node. Jacob, you're here, and I know you are just a big fan of Brick Hard Node.
the biggest.
The alt.
Yep, about that alt life. So Brick Hard Node actually had a pretty eventful.
Brick Hard Node has been collecting dust for a little bit, though.
He did.
We haven't heard about Brick Hard Node in a while.
I jumped to Disney Sorcerer's Arena for a week, and I lost interest in it after a week. And while I wanted to give it an honest shot, so I stopped playing Brick Hard Node, and I even missed an entire round of GAC, which in hindsight is heartbreaking.
Terrible.
Yeah,
terrible.
But I hopped back on, deleted Disney Sorcerer's Arena, and just focused on that. And it was a really fruitful week for Brick Hard Node. I ended up putting a 7-star on Game Boy Advance, our boy GeoBrute Alpha, and then subsequently, because I had him at 7-star, I was able to get Padme to 7 stars by finishing that event.
Awesome.
Yeah, so 2 huge upgrades. Now I'm kind of stuck with trying to figure out where I'm going to dedicate my Cantina farms to next. Maybe you guys can weigh in, and if anybody's watching, they can weigh in as well.
Eben Hawk.
Great advice. Great
investment.
You joke, but I'm probably about to do that, unfortunately.
Are you going for
the Radis?
The Radis, yeah.
It's the only ship I need left on at this point. So
it's not a bad ship, and like it's really important for platoon. So like I wouldn't say that it's like a total loss. Yeah, and like plenty. There's a few fleets in my arena that use Eben Hawk with their negotiator. I don't know the strategy there, but it's a good ship.
Yeah, no, that's the only ship I have left, the Eben Hawk, to get the Radis. I'm like, well, I mean, I might as well at this point. So
yeah,
I think Jedi Knight Revan's gonna be kind of soon-ish for me. So might as well get T3 along the way.
Totally. Yep.
Yeah. So I'm considering, I'm like approaching 1 million GP at this point. I'm thinking, I'm going to supercharge my Jedi Knight Anakin farm because he's at 5-star, and I want to get him to 7.
You know, Cantina and Hard Node.
Yeah, just to get him out of the way.
Yeah.
Smart. And then from there, there's a lot of options. There's a lot of important stuff in Cantina. So I do want to get C3PO, so I'm considering getting Chief Chirpa out of the way.
Yep.
Because I've been slowly farming Low Gray and Paplu and Wicket when I can.
Yeah.
And Elder. Or B2, because I do think I'm going to go for gas. I think I'm going to skip Jedi Knight Revan, honestly.
Smart.
I think I'm going to skip both Revans at this point.
Yeah.
It's just such a big investment of time and energy that, they're great characters, but
who gives a shit?
I don't know. Yeah. And then if I'm going to get them, it's like, if I'm going to dedicate myself to a Revan, I'm not getting a Galactic Legend anytime soon, regardless.
Right.
So I'm thinking B2 is an option. Night Sister Spirit, maybe. I don't know. Then I'm going down a whole rabbit hole with Night Sisters.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Do you want Night Sisters on both accounts? That's the question.
Dude, they're so clutch in GAC though. They're so good.
You've already done the sin on one account. You're going to do the sin on both accounts.
But I need to do the sin properly because I invested in Talia, and I should have been
Oh,
investing
yeah.
into Spirit the whole time.
Yeah, Talia is not great.
No. And then I'm considering, do I go for Rebels? I may be skipping Rebels, though. I'm not going with Home One. I mean, I am going to get the MILF just by default because I am farming those bounty hunters and their ships.
Yeah.
Or do I go, First Order? I need to start the First Order grind. I don't know.
Too many
There's a lot of
things to
options.
do.
So many options. If you guys think of anything, let me know. Try to steer me in the right direction. All right. That might be
Will
the longest boasts, and beers section for me. How about you, Darkit? What have you been
I'm
up
already
to?
done with my first beer, so I got to open my second IPA here.
And we have to wrap the podcast. Thanks, you guys.
And that's the end of the episode.
Thanks, coming, Jacob. That was good. Good
Yep,
talk.
yep. It's my pleasure.
Yep. All right, here we go. So, Padme team. Last time we talked, I think I had just finished Padme Relic 7. Anakin.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
So tomorrow morning, I'm not there quite yet. I'll have a complete R35 Padme squad. I like using that term. Ninja Emus made it, I think, at first. Relic 35, so all R7 Padme. So Ahsoka's my last one.
You sent me a text with that, and I thought you just had a typo. I thought you meant to just say R3, and then you had a 5 in there too. So
nope.
I should have clarified instead of just
R35, 7 times 5. She is lacking 2 flawed signal datas, which I should be able to pull tomorrow morning, and then I can jump into GAC and then leave and rejoin Territory War.
So that's gonna be full R7.
Full R7 Padme.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You got to drop that bad boy. Well, I don't know. We need help on offense.
No, because it's not good on defense. I'll talk about it in a minute, but
Okay.
I think it's an offense heavy team. It does get a little bit of being underestimated sometimes in arena, but at times it also falls really quickly. So it's a great squad. I love it. I have a lot of fun running it. It's way more fun than running General Grievous, which I was doing for a long time. But I will say, before I even R6'd Ahsoka, I shot up to rank 50 in arena. Now, I didn't stay there long.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I was in the top 100 for a couple days. I was starting to reach some gas squads, and I was like, I don't know, I'll see what my Padme squad can do with gas. And it was actually easier than the Darth Revan Malak squads. I don't know how. Maybe it was these guys were just not modding properly, so they were kind of on the edge of the top 50. But I was doing some damage. I beat 3 gas squads in a row with hardly no problem. The first one I did, I had all my tunes surviving the entire thing. The second one I had just Yoda and Jedi Knight Anakin surviving. And the last one, it was just Padme. Somehow she stunned and then won. But it didn't last very long. I was back to 100 pretty quick. So anything between, in my shard, anything between 105 and 1 is just super active. They'll push you out real quick. But it was kind of cool seeing my squad in the top 50 of arena.
Yeah,
kind of fun because
arena
is
not.
My best payout was 73, I think.
Okay,
I didn't get to 50. I didn't stay at 50 very long.
That's
because I do most of my arena squad battles in the morning, and my payout's not until 6:30 p.m. So it is what it is. It's not something that I'm going to invest crystals into trying to push up into anything above that. It's just not worth it.
Yeah.
So
we got Ninja in the chat. He's agreeing with you in your sentiment about gas against.
It actually was
Padme against gas.
Yeah, it was Ninja who said at first that that Padme squad can beat gas, and when we do territory wars, he saves his Padme squad until we see a gas, and I think I'll do that in the future too. I can take out a fully Relic 7 Malak Relic 7 squad. So
Nice.
now that I know that, I'm just gonna like hold it for a while until we get to those.
Yeah.
Unless we're stuck, who knows?
Mm-hmm.
As far as geos go, that's like another one that I'm kind of side farming for gear. I got Spy up to gear 12 about 15 minutes before we started the podcast today. So all of my bugs are gear 12 now, except Brood Alpha. He's got 2 slots left, so a little bit of work there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's those like Mach 6 stun guns, the shitty ones that need like a golden eyeball, a back to gel,
That is weird.
and a
character
fully,
needs stun guns. That's crazy, man.
and a fully crafted stun gun. So it sucks.
Hey, but don't worry. CG said they're going to work on the gear crunch. So
They
Don't
just
worry
don't
about
know
it.
what it is, but they're gonna work on it. So
They're not going to do that. All right, GAC match 1. Me and Brick, we were talking about our first matches, and they were both horrible. We're like, we're just gonna forget these matches.
yeah, we were right. We wrote them off.
I almost don't want to talk about it, but in match 1, as soon as I saw my opponent, I was like, there's almost no winning this, so I have to go all offense and just see if I can trip him up maybe here or there. He had a negotiator maxed out. I was basically like taking the L from the beginning, and once I got to my time to attack, I didn't even clear a zone. Couldn't get through a zone. I think I beat like one squad in one of his fronts and one in another, and that was basically it. So that day
It's all right.
yeah, that day I actually had like a kind of down moment in the game. I actually like contemplating taking a break from the game because I also like dropped 50 crystals for Fleet Arena, and I just got stuck at 12 and I couldn't win a single battle. I think I took like 9 Fleet Arena attempts and like lost every single one. And I was like, fuck this game. I don't want to do this anymore. And I was talking to Brick about it the next morning. I knew that it was just like one of those days. You're going to have some of those days on the hollow table where you're not doing much progress, but like I was pretty down on the game, and I was like thinking about like maybe this is not for me for now. I need to take a step back. But the next day was fine. I got over it. No big deal. No drama. Match 2 on this one, I did better, but I did make a mistake on the defense. I saw his inventory and I scouted his .gg. I assumed that my Padme would be able to stop him, but I didn't take into account the Sith trio. Like I really only looked for the Darth Revan Malik counter to my Padme. But that Sith trio with a Thrawn is actually a really good counter to Padme. And I saw it, but I didn't even think about it. And he took my Padme down. My relic at that point, 32 Padme, down in one attempt. And I was like, this fucker cheated. There's no way he beat me. And I looked back and I'm like, oh, he had like the whole Sith trio with Thrawn. He used that. So
were they gear 12?
They were gear 13. Nihilus, I think, had a relic 3 or 4. So he had him worked up for this kind of situation. The only one that I was like kind of call shenanigans on it is like Fleet, because he had a MILF, but he was also running like Xanadu in his like top 3. And he beat it in 2 attempts. But I think what he did was he dropped his 3rd best fleet on defense because it was super easy for me to beat. And he had like his MILF squad, and then like he had like a Thrawn squad, and he dropped his Executrix on defense. But anyways, I lost that one too. So I was down 0-2 going into match 3, and I was like, fuck it, who cares at this point? I just need to get a win out of this one so I can like finish it off and be done. I move my bug, so I usually throw in the back up to the front to protect my fleet a little bit. It did get 1 hold.
Nice.
He couldn't beat my fleet, so he cleared 3 zones, but couldn't beat my fleet. And then I cleared him in all 1 attempts. I didn't try to get fancy and go undersized. I was like, I know I can beat him. I'm just going to go for a clear. So I got that last win, and I ended up in 6th place. So
KISS. Keep it simple, stupid.
keep it simple. Sometimes you got to keep it simple. So I got to a Rhodium, and because that first matchup kind of screwed me, not taking like hardly any good banners. I'll probably stay there. There's no way I'll get to Kyber in this one, but I do want to talk about a conspiracy theory I have real quick.
Okay.
Do you think CG twist its algorithm for GAC matchups so that people who don't spend money on the game get matched up with people who do spend money on the game? So that if you spend money on the game, you're more likely to get an opponent that you can beat than not. Because all of the ones that I face are way above the ones that you face. We're in the same division. We have fairly similar GP levels. Our top, what is it? Top 15, 25?
I think I said top 60.
Our top 60 characters are fairly similar.
Mhm.
Yet I always get these ridiculous matchups in GAC.
Yeah,
We tried messing around with timing of when you join, and I don't think that works either.
Yeah.
I feel like there's something else there that keeps people who are not spending money on the game from getting higher up, or from getting like better matchups.
Maybe, I don't know. I think there's something to, you have more higher end characters. Like I only have one R7 and you have multiple R7s.
Yeah.
So from what I know, Podcat, I feel like I've heard it before, like maybe on the Gambit podcast, them talking about the matchups. I thought you would think that would all be accounted for in your top 60 though, and our top 60s were identical.
Yeah.
The amount of GP anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And then I've also heard them speak about how if you have higher end relics, you tend to get grouped with people that have more higher end relics, but I don't know what goes into the algorithm. So
yeah,
I really don't know.
I want to know more. And I kind of call shenanigans on the whole thing, because whenever you show me like your inventories or the .ggs of the people you're facing, I'm like, I wish I could face those people because I get bullshit.
I've never seen a gas. Have you seen?
No,
gas?
Not on defense. No.
Okay.
I wish I did. I could probably beat them better than the Darth Revens.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I really don't know.
Yeah. Jacob, what's the hardest defense that you see in your GAC?
Ooh, yeah, probably, well, yeah, either Geos or just like a really beefy, like Gear 12 Bastila lead team. That's usually
those
one
are
of those
tough.
two.
Those are
They
so
are
tough.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what's a great counter for those early game? Geos.
Geos kill Bastila.
Dude,
so good.
They wreck that team. It's so fun. Like I wreck on Brick Hard Note, I wreck relict Bastila teams already. It's crazy.
I can 3-man that squad. Like I can take in Geo Brood Alpha, Spy, and Sunfuck and like beat
Just get fancy, huh?
Yeah. Yep.
I like with the bugs, I've been thinking when you were talking about building, or that guy that used Treya, the Sith trio, Treya, Darth Nihilus, and Scion with Thrawn. I think once, hopefully, fingers crossed, I get gas this time around, which I'm getting close. That's another thing I'm going to work on. I got a lot of stuff to talk about. This is going to be a 4-hour episode. So I'm hopefully going to get gas, and to prepare for that, I'm going to start like this week and next week, really started to watch through as many YouTubers as I can that have played through the event and show just kind of the basic strategies. But I want to find people that have comparable gear levels that I do. Most of the people that I've seen that have videos about unlocking it were way over prepared or more prepared than I am. I'm going in with the bare minimum, trying to do the best I can. But so that's my goal for that. So if I do get gas, my next goal will be I'm going to take a few weeks, maybe a month, before I dive into trying to get Supreme Leader Kylo Ren to just Gear 12, like important characters, like the Sith trio. I think I'm going to build them up because they're so solid. Their synergies are tremendous. It's a great team, very versatile. It is an older meta, but at the same time, I mean,
but if you can take out Padme, like my Padme squad with it, fuck it.
I don't have a good Padme answer at this point. So, and for Geos too, I mean, to have just a in the bag geo counter, because geos are tough and they're only going to get tougher. A lot of people are relicking them as they unlock malevolence, which is smart.
Yep.
I mean, they're dicey, dude. Even for a Gear 12 Darth Revan. I mean, with all the Zetas and Gear 12 Bastila, it's still not a lock. You would think that really strong, but then again, I am only using 2 characters from that meta squad, and I don't know. Anyway, all right,
Yep.
I'll shut the fuck up. Sorry.
Yep. Can I talk about my alt real quick before we do anything else?
No, dude, you've talked enough. Okay, you were yammering on about your Grand Arena, and
all right, I'll be quick. My
alts, take as much time as you want.
R2-D2 in Awakened Murder Bears took first again for the second time in a row in Grand Arena Championship.
I did too with Brick Hartnell, by the way.
Nice.
Not trying to steal your thunder.
I'm going to spare the details of the ins and outs of it, but I logged off and logged into the alt, and I had 9 minutes left, and I didn't attack, and he cleared 2 of my zones, but it took him 4 attempts to get through one of them, and I was like, what the fuck are you doing? This is a shit-ass, like, Dooku, Newt, Magna Guard at, like, Gear 4. It was just some bullshit. It took him 4 attempts, so I was like, I just need to underman, like, a couple of them, so I 2-manned. I did Geo Brute Alpha and Spy in, and then I could summon the Brute. That was an easy win. I actually thought that was a little bit overboard for the defense he had. And then I 3-bugged another team. I did Poggle, Sunfok, and Soldier, and that was kind of overboard too. So I got the gold in that one. And then Awakened Murder Bears also did our first territory war ever, and we won. It was tragic for the other ones. We cleared like pretty much the entire thing except for like 2 areas. So it was pretty cool.
Well, how much GP is Murder Bears at?
30 million.
30 million. Okay.
Yep.
I joined a rando guild and am on my alt, and it's been kind of interesting because when I quit to play Disney Sorcerer's Arena, I didn't want to be still in the Awakened collective, or our guild collective, to bog them down just with dead weight. So
right,
I joined this rando guild, and I noticed like the person, one of the officers was like, everybody needs to join Territory War. Everybody needs to join Territory War, because apparently they haven't been able to due to lack of participation, but they have 50 people in the guild. I was like,
I can't get 25 people to join Territory War.
And then I looked at the activity of like tickets earned, and I just put it in general chat because they don't have a Discord or anything. I was just like, hey, by my count, there are 26 people that haven't logged on or earned a single ticket today. So maybe we need to look at that. And then right away, this dude just started booting people. Okay.
That's
so
awesome.
he booted a bunch of people, and then one of the other officers got upset. He's like, whoa, what's going on? This person hasn't been on for 2 days. What's the problem? It's like, well, they're whatever, man. They're dead weight. You want people to actually play the game to play and earn tickets and contribute. But
what a concept.
Once they did that, they were able to join Territory War because they started getting all of these random people that actually play and are active. And who knows how long those people hadn't played, but it's actually kind of fun. I don't know. It's not too bad. They seem to be decent dudes, but I don't know. Maybe I'll join Murder Bears at some point.
Yeah.
Just get annoyed of the Discord, of 2 Discords.
Yeah.
And like 2 sets of pings. It's just annoying. It's like, I want the gear, but I don't want the pings, and I don't want to really pay. I don't want to pay that much attention.
Exactly. Especially on an alt account. It's like, just I want to get in and get out. It's not important.
Right. Okay. So we have been talking a lot, and I'm sure you guys are protein deficient and you need some meat in you. What do you guys say?
I would love some meat.
Let's get some meat.
Let's get some meat, baby.
I need before I get some meat, I need some beer. So
I probably should get another beer too.
Do you want to? We're just doing 1 beer, right?
Jacob has a second. We'll get to that
later
at some point. Yeah, we'll get to that. Like, actually, you get a beer.
Okay.
Jacob's gonna open his second beer. Do you have it ready?
I do.
Cool. And then if we need to, I have some notes on that beer. So
all right,
lead us in there. This one is Elliot Ness, correct?
Yes.
All right. Elliot Ness is 6.1%, 27 IBUs. They say it's admittedly a bit of a paradox to the name for their amber lager for history's most famous agent of prohibition, but it's smooth, malty, and dare we say arresting paradox. It's almost untouchably smooth and armed with a lightly toasted malt and notable hops. They say that it pairs well with smoked meats, hearty breads, and a classy fedora, which I would never wear. Fuck fedoras.
Well, he's got a nice fedora on the label,
Yeah.
so there you go.
That's one of his like signature things. His look, Elliot Ness, is the fedora. I don't think I've had this one.
It's not bad. Definitely very malty. Yeah, I got that little bit of like caramely taste to it. That's pretty good.
Yeah. What would you rate it on the Galaxy of Heroes?
I'd probably give it
7-star.
like, I don't think I liked it as much as the IPA. Maybe like a 4 in Omegas. Like it's definitely a serviceable, good
Okay.
beer. But
Yeah. Does it compare to like Fat Tire Amber?
yeah, well, a little similar. I think
Yeah.
I would prefer Fat Tire more, but
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I'm gonna grab a new one too. So
Grab a new one.
BRB.
Okay. I'll start getting into the Q&A here. We had a Q&A, and
I can
seemed-
summarize it for you real quick.
yeah, please go ahead.
So no.
Yeah, I did. I just briefly skimmed it. It just didn't seem like there was a whole lot of information in it, or just kind of shutting down a lot of.
It's like there is information. It's just not the information you want.
Yeah, looked pretty rough. No plans to rework Rose or Phasma. Somebody asked about.
Yeah, they were asking about like characters that went to the Galactic Legends. Like, you had to Relic 3 Resistance pilot for Rey. And it's like, well, this is obviously a waste of time. You're going to rework any of those characters? And they said no. So
In hindsight, the Galactic Legend events, they didn't even utilize those characters in the events, which is just okay. So these are just more hurdles to jump, I guess.
Right.
They're like
unlock.
gatekeepers, basically.
But at the same time, that would be annoying, I would think, if you had to, as many characters that were needed to have to like, okay, what kind of mods am I going to put on my Phasma for this event so that I can succeed? I mean, people would figure it out and do it, but it's also maybe there's a silver lining to not requiring Rose or Phasma for these events.
right.
But sandbox mode is not happening because it is very expensive, apparently. That's what the summarized version Jacob provided us with indicates. 2 defensive fleets will be coming to GAC. Kind of interesting.
Yeah, hopefully that's a like higher division thing, because like if
Yeah.
you threw it in like Division 10, it's like, all right, cool, I have 3 capital ships and I need 4
Right.
fleets.
Right. Yeah.
I don't want another defensive fleet. That's not fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. I think for higher end people, because there are going to be, as these, I think as people continue to get these ships prepared, there's going to be a lot more capital ships in the fold.
Yeah.
With the Finalizer and Radis.
Mm-hmm.
And what else is coming? Is there anything coming?
There's nothing been announced yet, but we're up to what, like 8 capital ships now, right?
Yeah, maybe I'll take
The
your word for it.
original 3: Chimera, Malevolence, Negotiator, Radis, and Finalizer. Yeah,
Yeah.
8.
Yep.
So
Yeah, I mean, and I heard them talking on and who knows if this is true because they go back on their word a lot, but on the Galactic War Report podcast, they were saying that they want to get more capital ships in the game. This is before Radis or Finalizer came out, so who knows if that was what they were insinuating or referring to, but would be cool to get some more ships in general into the game.
right.
Oh, they do plan to split up Division 1, which is cool. They are waiting for a critical mass of players before they commit to that task, whatever that means.
They need more players in Division 1. Isn't that
Well,
like enormous already?
It's not the biggest. Division 3 is the biggest.
Well, I know Division 3 is the biggest, but like, why would you need more players in Division 1?
Yeah, I don't know.
I would bet there's a lot of people at the top with like kind of bloated rosters that aren't like optimized. So I can see that.
There's people. I think there's somebody that's almost 8 million GP. Yeah, they're like 7.9 something.
What?
Yeah,
I want to see that roster
because like I've heard Xerath from the Gambit podcast talk about it because he has a higher end roster. You know, like he's in Division 1 over 5 million GP, and he gets matched with people that have like 7 million GP and they're all in Division 1.
That's crazy. That's not fair. Not cool.
Yeah. So those people get rewarded for spending because I don't think you accidentally get 7 million GP. But Xerath spends too, and you know he's still getting. I don't think he's not a whale or anything, but he does put money into the game. So
I can see like a restructure where like anything but like 5.75 and above go like into a different thing. You know.
Yeah, that seems appropriate. I've heard other podcasts
6 and above.
talk about it too.
Yeah.
Or the Operation Metaverse, good old Maurice and T Money were talking about that a while ago, but just about splitting up Division 1 because the same thing, you know, they're just getting grouped with these really high end accounts with everything, and it's not really fair. I don't know. Did you guys want to talk about the art? I know you guys are really looking forward to CG Spaniard, Raging Spaniard.
That's what I tuned into the Q&A for, was the art conversations.
Yeah, I don't know why we spent so much time talking about like actual stuff in the game. It's like CG Raging Spaniard his time is valuable, or their time is valuable. So
I mean, we talked about it on the last episode that like Cara Dune and Grief Karga are like spot on.
Yeah, they look great.
Ray, not so much.
So much. See, we just need to start like the next Q&A. You just have to frame questions that you actually want to know in terms of art. So it's like, hey, how many polygons is Galactic Legends Luke gonna be?
Well, no, Galactic Legends.
More specific, like how many polygons are on his nose? Quadrant 4D.
That's hilarious.
No one gives a shit.
Anything else you guys wanted to touch on? I truthfully didn't do a deep scrub of it. I meant to, but Mrs. Hardmeat had a lot of dad projects for Mr. Hardmeat that were thrusted upon him. Cool, in addition to trying to watch 9 hours of the Clone Wars season 2. So it was a rough week, but I made it. I'm here.
You'd had 3 weeks to do it, so you finally got there.
It's very true. But these dad projects take longer than you'd think. The time that I have to do the dad projects is the same time that I would have been able to allocate towards watching watching Clone Wars. Anyway, excuses. We want to touch on. We just had Grief Karga come out today, right?
We did, yes.
What'd you guys think?
I did it on my main account. I didn't do it on my alt yet because I hadn't have time yet. But I would say kind of similar excitement as the Cara Dune. I knew that Grief Karga was probably a better character in general long term than she's going to be. So it's one that I wanted to kind of play around with the kit and see what it can do. My one complaint about marquee events, and me and Jacob were talking about this like kind of before the stream launched, is these events don't give you enough difficulty for you to play with the kit to like learn it. Your opponents that you face on these, and even in like the farthest tier, the bonus tier, are so easy to beat. You don't get to play enough with them. I wish it was like a multi wave event, like almost like an assault battle, where like you're gonna get the rewards anyways, but at least you can play with the kit more to see what you can do with it. Because Grief Karga is going to be an excellent character. He's going to make the bounty hunters awesome, especially in PvP game modes, territory wars, and Grand Arena. I want to play with it more with my bounty hunters to see how much investment I want to do with them, but I just didn't get enough. I didn't get enough like ability to work with his specials and whatnot. So I'm excited for both characters, Cara Dune and Grief Karga. I just wish they would make the marquee events more challenging.
I'm coming from a different perspective as just a player with not as much of a built up roster, but like winding back the clock a little bit, wasn't like the like First Order Sith Trooper like event actually, like at least the bonus tier actually like pretty difficult, like as compared to like Grief Kargas. Like if I remember correctly, like I knew people in my guild it took them a few tries, whereas with the Grief Kargas bonus tier, you just like nuked them instantly.
Yeah. It kind of depends on like the team that you use with it, I guess.
Right.
I always want to use the squad that I'm going to put him in, you know? So like my bounty hunters are pretty good. They're pretty much all gear 12, gear 11. And it was like a cakewalk going through it. So I didn't get to like actually like throw the buffs on. Like on Grief Karga, like once you throw Retribution on, like you're just mauling down the opponents. It's crazy.
Yeah,
they hit you once, and like all of them just like mass blast the opponent.
Yeah, like my bounty hunter squad's like, and maybe an average of gear 10. And even then, like I tried to use basics only, and I still, by the time I got the payout active, I couldn't use his like third ability, which it is buffed with payouts. So yeah, even then it's like, well, they're all dead. So I guess maybe if we had a sandbox mode, we could actually try it out. But
I think you're right, Jacob. I think the First Order event was tough, tougher. I have strong First Order, relatively speaking, and it wasn't too bad, but I do remember it not being as simple as the Grief Karga event, because like on my alt, my bounty hunters aren't anything to write home about, and it was very simple. I don't know, the marquee events, they're kind of, I'm kind of indifferent about them. I mean, we're gonna get the shards, whatever. Gonna get a 2-star character, whatever. Kara was, I thought is a unique idea for a character. You know, the fact that her kit operates differently based on who the leader is and what faction they are.
Yep.
I think that's a really cool idea. It's a pretty simple kit. I'm interested to see. It's nothing I'm going to invest in at this point, but I think it's an interesting plan. I could see like theory crafters really finding a great place for that character potentially once it's available and farmable.
Lightside Hoth, she's gonna be great. You know, her like mass stun on the Empire. I'm pushing everybody in my alt guild in Murder Bears to like really invest in her, because she's gonna be great in that territory battle. That's
true. And then Grief, I thought Grief was a really cool character, giving the bounty hunters, essentially a healer. He's a support character, but the heals were getting handed out left and right.
Well, that Retribution is great,
and that too, yeah, that's great. And cleanse, I think cleanse.
Well, yeah, and now you have between him and Bosks, you have 2 mass assists, so you can get contracts rolling really quickly.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's I think that instantly Grief is going to be like a buff to the bounty hunter faction. Really, any bounty hunter team.
Totally. Yep.
You'd be kind of doing a disservice if you're running a decent bounty hunter team not having Grief in that. Right. I mean, that's be better than having Greedo or that 5th. I think the 4th and 5th slot of a bounty hunter team are kind of you can throw in a lot of different people in that slot.
Right.
But yeah, we'll see. All right. You want to talk about Clone Wars?
Clone Wars.
You want to get into it?
It's been a while since we talked Clone Wars. I'm excited.
Yes.
So we are going to do our reactions and reviews of Clone Wars Season 2, the television series. Clone Wars Season 2 debuted on October 2nd, 2009 on Cartoon Network, and it originally was marketed as the Return of the Bounty Hunters. Some things going on in the world at the time, 2009. January 26th, the top music single was Blame It on the Alcohol by Jamie Foxx and T-Pain. And it ended
Oh.
up being the Billboard song of 2009.
I didn't know that was
Um,
Jamie Foxx
Well, yeah, him and T-Pain.
and T-Pain. I didn't
Yep.
realize that.
We had our Miracle on the Hudson with Sully landing his
Oh,
plane
yeah.
on the
yeah,
Hudson.
yeah.
Yep, yep.
That was nuts.
It was pretty crazy. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
We were in the Obama years, so things were predictable. RuPaul's Drag Race premiered on TV for the first time.
Oh, good.
Good stuff. I don't know, not a ton of cool stuff. It was a very calm time in the world. Heath Ledger won an Academy Award posthumously for The Dark Knight. We talked about that, I think, on the last one.
Mm-hmm. They were cranking out this Clone Wars content.
We had a pandemic happening at that point in March, H1N1, the swine flu, but nowhere near the pandemic that we're dealing with right now.
Yeah, that was totally not on my radar at all.
Nope.
I don't even remember it, to be honest.
Yep. Star Trek, directed and produced by J.J. Abrams, came out on April 6th.
That was actually good. I enjoyed it. I'm not a Trekkie by any means, but I enjoyed that movie.
Yeah, I
Of
think
the
that-
Star Trek movies, it wasn't bad. It wasn't.
I think
the
that might
worst.
be the only Star Trek movie I've ever seen.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not a Star Trek fan.
That's pretty much it of like notable things, I would say. 2009.
What was going on in your life at the time?
2009 was when Ella was born. So
Oh, nice.
our daughter, the life changed dramatically after that. So I was living in Texas.
Hey, Haas.
Tejas. Yep. How about you?
I was still trying to get my life together after quitting my band, and
Yeah.
I got a new job I was working at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly.
Part-time. Yep.
Auto parts.
Yow! That's my favorite part. Somebody goes, yow! It's like, whose idea was that in the production, the recording studio? And they're like, hey, maybe throw a yow at the end of it. I don't know. I'm just thinking outside of the box here.
The guy
Give it a
just like
shot.
stubbed his toe at the end of the take and they just left it in.
That's it. It's a
I
wrap.
like it.
But yeah, I was doing that, and a few months later, I would meet my wife. We went on our first date in November, so I was
That's
just
pretty big.
yeah. So October,
Big stuff.
I guess while this was airing, that's what I was doing. Yeah, I met my wife. So yeah. How about you?
First time you watched. Oh, Jacob. What was going on?
Yeah,
in your
Jacob's
life?
here.
Jacob,
Dark
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I got
looking
you
at
back.
him.
Don't worry.
I'm looking at him, but I'm not asking him questions.
So I was 13, so I still would have been in middle school. So that was a bad time, a bad time.
Yeah, middle school
Wow.
sucks.
It sucked. It was the
Yeah.
worst. Well, I
But-
thought high school was worse, but that also sucked.
I was, most people would disagree with me, but I believe I peaked in high school. So
Oh, okay.
no, yeah, everything's just been downhill from there. So. But no, yeah, I was in middle school. I there was a period of time where I was like, trying to not be the nerdy kid. So I don't think this was around 2013 or sorry, yeah, 2009. But yeah, so there was a period of time where I was like trying to distance myself from Star Wars, but obviously here I am now. So that's all how good that was.
We're
Yeah,
on a
that-
Star Wars podcast now.
That is a funny thing. I feel like really like the Nerdist podcast kind of was was pretty instrumental in making. Well, I guess nerd culture was becoming more commonplace, and it was like almost cool to be a nerd at a certain point. And I think that's kind of when this stuff started. Like, I vividly remember when I first started dating my wife. I didn't tell her I played D&D, Dungeons and Dragons. I just didn't tell her.
Yeah.
She'd be like, "You want to hang out Thursday?" I'm like,
Smart
"No,
move.
Thursday I've got this thing going on. I just can't."
I'm lifting
I have-
weights,
I have work.
Yeah, I'm doing a double workout. Yeah. But eventually, she like saw in my bookshelf. She's like, "What's this?" I'm like, "Oh, that's shit."
It's 12-sided die. How many
That's
sides?
a Dungeon Master's guide.
Yeah.
Ooh. So I had to explain it to her. But at the time, in that NRE, she thought it was fine. The new relationship energy for the uninitiated.
Okay.
That's what the kids are saying these days. She was okay with it, but I do feel like around this time, like around 2009, that's kind of when being a nerd was becoming more acceptable. Did you find that in high school? Was that the case, Jacob, or was it like still kind of?
Yeah, no, definitely. Cause like, so I just said how I like for a while I tried to distance myself from like nerdy stuff, but then when I got to high school, I kind of was like, well, I don't care about sports anymore because I'm in like marching band in high school. I'm in like the science club. Like, who cares about sports? And now, again, coming back to the center, I watch a lot of football and stuff like that. But at the time, yeah, being nerdy was kind of, it might not have been the mainstream cool thing to do, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah, at least you weren't panned. I feel like
Right. Yeah.
in early, it was, you were like a nerd or shunned.
Were we all in the marching band?
Yeah, we were all marching band.
We were all in the marching band.
Wow.
What'd you play, Jacob?
So I played a lot of instruments in high school. In college, I marched in college. I marched baritone.
Nice. Oh,
I played baritone too.
DD.
There we go.
Yeah, let's go, baritone bros.
I eventually turned drum major.
Oh, I did drum major in high school. So.
Oh shit!
Damn, girl, man.
You got
Awesome.
we got a couple grade A baritone drum majors here. Look at this. I was section leader of the drum section, guys. We were basically the core of the marching band.
Oh, and I played an indoor drum line in high school. So
We did too.
We did too. Wow.
I played the bottom bass.
That's right. dude.
Same, because I wasn't that good.
Oh.
They're
That was
like,
terrible.
I'm like, hey, I played a wind instrument, but I won't be in drum line. They're like, here's the heavy drum that you only have to
Yep.
play every 3 bars. I'm like, all right.
It's only 115 pounds. That's fine.
How strong is your back? Real strong. All right, bottom bass it is.
The funny part is like I'm huge and I played the smallest drum. I played like I'm
You have
like
the best
6
chops. You have the best chops.
Well, I guess whatever.
I'll be right back.
All right. Yeah, I'm like 6'4". Like in high school, I was like 230 and just had the tiniest little, just playing this tiny little drum and whatever. Yeah, we did indoor drum line. It was a lot of fun.
All right, yeah, I liked it. Yeah, because they started my junior year, and we had a 4-person bass line that year, so I played bottom bass. And then the next year they had 5-person bass line, so I got an even larger bass drum. I was like, oh my God, I can't deal with this anymore.
Yeah. I loved the bass. I loved playing
That was fun.
the bass line. It was so cool when things lined up.
Yeah.
But our bass line in marching band anyway it sucked because just we had like some pretty I don't know, people that were inept. I don't know. They just didn't know how to read music.
Right. It was like, you're not good enough for a real like snare or tenors, so here, play the bass drum. It can't be that bad.
Yeah, right. And like they would just have to go doop at the right time. That was it.
Right.
Or a doo-doo. It's like, okay, you can't do that? Come on, please.
Yeah. I was like, my senior year I was on bass 5, and like I didn't have to be good because I only like played like every couple beats at the best. And the other three of the other people were really good. And then one person, there was another like wind player that's like, I want to also do drumline, and they put her on bass 3. And I just remember one time we were doing like just like 8s, and we just, doing runs down and up and down the line. And she like went to tie her shoe, and she was on bass 3 because it's easy because you hit on the downbeats. And it's also, she was a small person, so it was a smaller drum.
Right.
And you don't have to do anything fast. So with bass 3, if you're playing, for people that are in marching band, if you are marking time, stepping your feet in time, if you hit the right foot down, bass 3 hits the drum. So literally when you hit your right foot, it hits the ground, you hit the drum. And there was just like one time where she like had to tie her shoe, something like that, and stepped out of the line. I'm like, wow, it's so much more clean when she's not playing, and she has the easiest job of anyone here.
I know, it's so cool though when you hear somebody actually like nail it. Like you have like five bass drums just doing this wailing away. Like we had like one of the best. Gosh, we're going on a tangent here, but fuck.
Yeah, like I said, peaked in high school right here.
Who gives a shit? This is a marching band podcast right here.
That's right. We're rebranding it. There was this, we in Michigan, we are close to Plymouth Canton, which is like one of the best was at the time when we were in high school, like the nation's best high school marching band.
It
Like
always
they
take
had-
first in nationals. Yep.
Yeah.
See, I'm from Central Indiana, so I know how you feel.
Okay. You have a strong.
Yes, Avon, Center Grove, Carmel.
Oh yes, I
Yeah,
remember those
yeah.
names. Yeah, we went to nationals once together, my freshman year. But yeah, so like their drum line was ridiculous, and we had local competitions where we compete against them, which was comical. But they rip, dude. You hear
They're
them
amazing.
warming up, you're like, are you human? Are they
in high school?
That sounds way different than what we do. We're just like. What the fuck is going on? Anyway, all right.
We had a pretty awesome John Bonham show though in Winter Drum
We
Lineup.
did.
Oh god.
We
It
wore
was
we wore cut off orange t-shirts.
Yep, and John Bonham's name was spelled incorrectly on the shirt. So that's
Was it?
Yeah.
I didn't even notice that.
Yep, it was
Oh,
spelled wrong.
awesome. Sweet.
Yep. So we were hardcore Led Zeppelin
cool.
fans, obviously.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you think that's cool, my senior year, our show, it was like an Asian theme, like Eastern show. But I had our costumes. They had one full sleeve and then one like tank top sleeve.
Oh yeah.
So that was pretty baller.
Nice. That probably got you all the chicks. You're like, hey, have you seen my indoor drumline outfit?
Have you seen my drum?
It's bigger than I am.
Mm-hmm.
I could live in this thing.
Last marching band thought. When I was drum major, I had to wear white pants. And I remember my now mother-in-law telling me, I can see your underwear through your white pants. Yep. Awesome time.
That's good.
All right. Moving back into Clone Wars season 2.
Yeah. First time you watched.
First time that I watched this was probably about a year ago. Like I was watching all of the Clone Wars stuff kind of back then. And I've been through it like, I think twice now.
Okay. For me, a week ago.
Yeah.
I started about a week ago.
About 2 hours ago, I finished.
Seriously. I did.
Yeah.
Jacob,
How about you, Jake?
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, back then I didn't really watch anything like any TV series like week to week. I definitely remember watching some of the episodes on reruns. Like I definitely saw like the Seven Samurai Bounty Hunters episode. But yeah, probably the first time I watched it all the way through was when I started my whole podcast. So like maybe 2 or 3 months ago when I finally decided to sit down and do all those.
Yeah. I think this season has a lot of like very rich like world building stuff and like filling in the gaps of stuff that you kind of like were wondering.
Yeah.
I think it's a pretty strong season overall. And there's definitely some down episodes that we'll get to.
Right.
But I do think that like for the whole series, this has one of the arcs that I think is in my top 3 arcs of all of the Clone Wars. So
yeah, honestly, like on the because I rewatched when I figured out we were going to talk about this. I'm like, watching it the second time through, it's not that bad. Like the first time, it's like there's you tend to, if you've watched like the first time watching Clone Wars all the way through, you tend to like just remember all the garbage, and there's a lot of garbage.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, on the second run through, I'm like, wow, these are some like great character moments that are happening. Like you see the growth of Ahsoka over time and how she's evolving as a person. I'm like, this isn't that terrible, really.
Yeah. Yep. Now this is not like a pre-scripted like thing that we always do, but what is your favorite arc in this series, in this season? So for me, it's episodes 5 through 8, I would say, when they're on Geonosis.
Okay.
And they are doing the battles there. Like that whole thing is like, it plays into the game very well. You have a lot of action with Kenobi and Anakin. You got a lot of good Ahsoka. You got Ki-Adi-Mundi in there. You got Barriss in there. Poggle. It plays well into like the game lore so much, and like Territory Battles is based, I think, on this arc. So for me, I think that's like the one that is like the standout arc of the season.
Mm-hmm.
I did enjoy I did like the Mandalorian arc. I thought I wasn't really expecting that.
Yep.
They were elaborating on that that storyline and kind of because really, I mean, even from the Mandalorian show, we don't know a ton. If you watch the Mandalorian, like we don't
Right.
know a lot about the Mandalorians. I mean,
If you've not seen Clone Wars and you've just seen the Mandalorian, you know like jack shit about the Mandalorians.
Right. Yeah.
Mhm.
So
I thought that was cool. How about you, Jacob?
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you. Yeah, 12 through 14, the Mandalorian arc is probably my favorite, especially if you're watching currently with season 7 coming out right now.
Yeah.
It's ooh
yeah,
just
the counterpoint to it, like to know what's going on like currently is like pretty cool. Like it was like they dropped some seeds there and they definitely like made them really work in this new season. So
yeah, Brick, in about 40 hours, Clone Wars is gonna be really good.
it's
Awesome.
it's season 7 is
Can't wait.
awesome.
But 38 hours though, it's really bad.
There's about 3 episodes, but you could do without. You're like,
Yeah.
Ahsoka's here, but the rest of this I don't care about.
It's like it's
Yeah.
really important for her, the evolution of her character, but it's like at the end, it's like really that was it. Like it's like honestly, you want to stop spending time with these other characters, but then when you're done with them, it's like, well, I didn't get any payout for them. So would like these 4 episodes weren't worth it. So then you kind of want more.
Yeah.
And also, did it deepen Ahsoka's character?
Yes, but
Unsure.
I think like the last again, we're talking about something that whatever probably Brick hasn't seen, probably a lot of people listening haven't seen. But the last like 30 seconds of the last episode of that arc, when she's talking about her relationship with the Jedi Order, I'm like, well, that's important for her character.
Yeah.
And we can see through these last 3 or 4 episodes how we got to that point, but like, was it worth it when you only have 12 episodes for the end of a series? Probably not.
I don't want to get into this too much right now.
Yeah, we
The
should stop.
first 7 minutes of that episode, oh my god, there's so much cool stuff in there. Oh, I want to watch it again.
Well, let's start on season.
So
or
back
let's
to
start on
season
episode
2.
1.
Season 2, episode
Season
1.
Yeah, I mean, I think we don't have to go through every episode, but just maybe like touching on the arcs. So
Sure.
it picks back up with Cad Bane.
Yep.
On episode 1, Holocron heist, which is really cool that I think that they incorporated that into the storyline, because this is nothing that is touched on in any of the Star Wars films, the major films. Holocrons are not even mentioned.
Right.
And holocrons, I'm familiar with from Star Wars Galaxies, the MMO that I used to play, which I may be talking about with Jacob at some point.
Maybe. Well, we'll see.
But they're this little cube thing that Jedi collect or can find or have access to that allows them to create lightsabers with. It was one of the one of the components you needed in the game, but in the show it was pretty cool. It was essentially like this piece of this like artifact, this Jedi artifact that allowed the user to find Force sensitive beings in the universe, which was, I mean, that's a crazy subject to bring up. And it came up in later episodes too, like in Children of the Force, where Darth Sidious has probably the darkest assignment: kidnap Force sensitive children from across the galaxy and bring them to Mustafar. It's like, what?
Yeah, that's he does that a lot.
Yeah, he's fucked. It's crazy to see him in the background, like doing all this crazy
Dude,
shit.
wait, Darky, you've seen Rebels, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Just wait till Brick sees what holocrons do in that series.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Now,
Yeah, because eventually they hunt everybody down. I know. I mean, you see that in the movies, but
Right. Yeah, and it even like it's similar in, if you're the game Jedi Fallen Order. It came out last year. It's really, really good if you haven't played it. But there's a similar plot where they're going after a holocron that has, again, the location of all the Force sensitive people in the galaxy. And that's kind of like part of the central plot of that.
It's crazy. I like that they brought it into this. Touched on this.
at first I thought you said Children of the Forest.
Oh
Like-
no.
A Song of Ice and Fire.
Oh, and then we have Darth Darket's favorite
Don't even-
episode,
No.
Senate Spy.
Shut up. I don't want to talk about episode 4 at all. Senate Spy. with the worst character in the entire series.
I didn't think he was that bad for the one episode that he was in so far.
He comes back.
Maybe that's what hasn't
Horrible.
taken my.
He's horrible. The worst.
Okay,
The
look,
worst.
I think he's an incredibly interesting idea for a character that's been executed incredibly poorly.
I wish he would get executed correctly.
Well, just wait for
We'll see.
seasons. I think three or four.
Yeah.
And then we hop into Darth Darket's actual favorite part,
Yes.
the Battle of Geonosis.
Yeah. Once episode 5 comes in, landing at Point Rain, Weapons Factory, Legacy of Terror, all of those are just like so good. You have all of the like lore of Territory Battle, Darkside, Geo. You get to start seeing like all of them land on Geonosis with the droid factory. You start seeing these super tanks. It's just really good stuff. Legacy of Terror is one that is it's got a lot of depth to it, I think, especially when they go into like, you know, the lair of the queen and whatnot. I think it's that one. And you can kind of see like how this whole hive mind thing kind of works with Karina the Great, who is like the queen of the Geonosians.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's one of the like better parts of this season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought it was cool too, seeing. I mean, I feel like the Jedi are sort of the nucleus of most of the Clone Wars so far. I mean, follows. It's generally like, oh, what's General Kenobi up to, or what's General Skywalker up to?
Totally.
But seeing the development of Ahsoka and then getting more kind of screen time on Barriss, like having Barriss in an episode,
Yeah.
which was cool.
And
Honestly-
she's like very young at this point too, you know?
Yeah, she's honestly
like-
like one of my favorite like secondary character Jedis. Like,
Yep.
Yeah, she's badass, and like when Ahsoka and her are working together, they're tasked to work together to I forget, blow up some type of
yeah, they're like digging under the base to blow up the base or something like that. Yeah.
That was like a really cool character development moment when they're both basically just okay with dying. They're like, well, we did our part. I
Yep.
guess we're gonna die, and they ended up not.
Well, it wasn't even so much that, because like, so you had Ahsoka, like it's really just like kind of the whole episode showing the difference between Anakin and his teaching and like
Right.
how an actual Jedi would teach.
Yeah.
And but like, yeah, she's like, Barriss is like, all right, well, I'm gonna die, and out on the outside, Lumiere is like, well, she's gonna die, but that's okay. And Anakin's obviously pissed off and not gonna handle that well, and Ahsoka's like trying to figure out how she's gonna get out. And you know, one's obviously clearly the proper Jedi way, but the other is the one that ends up prevailing and the one that saves the people in the end.
I think that's why I like it the most is like the Luminara and like Anakin stuff, you know,
Mhm.
like their ways of reacting to the situation like shows like how different you can be as a Jedi. Because like when you're seeing just like the general like flagship movies, like Jedi are kind of all the same, but there's so much intricacies to them, especially when you see things like this with Anakin and Luminara. So that's why I really like this arc a lot, is because there's so much like kind of niche stuff that like can get lost in like the flagship movies.
Right.
One thing I kept thinking through these few episodes of the Battle of Geonosis, like why weren't they why weren't these battles a bigger part of the actual Clone Wars movie?
I know.
You know,
because like it sets it up as like this is like the conflict is like if you stop them from producing these droids, you can shut the war down. And the same thing with like when you get farther with like, I don't want to get into it, but like the battle on Camino, you know, like there's all kinds of stuff there too. Like you're losing out on like really good action and drama. I think the prequels, as like mixed as they are, because there's some good things and some bad things there, they missed out on a lot of opportunities to like showcase these battles that could have like really made that that era of Star Wars really, really great. And I love the prequels in their own way, but there's there's some stuff they definitely missed.
Yeah, because the Clone Wars movie, I mean, literally the Battle of Geonosis, the Clone War, doesn't even start until almost
like-
2 hours into the movie.
It's like the
Yeah.
last 20 minutes.
It
And
really
it's
is.
It's really not even a true battle. It's just like
No.
in the arena, you know, like it's not really like something that's like a tactical battle that you're gonna win this big, you know, advantageous like, you know, thing in. It's just like
It's
I don't
the
know.
Deus Ex Machina of the movie. It's
Yeah,
like, oh,
no,
we're
it's-
all screwed,
it's-
but here's
it's-
clones.
yeah.
Yeah, they're just like, oh, they're shooting at each other, pew pew pew, and then you know you have the epic showdown between Dooku and Yoda, which is great, but
That's
at the
why
same time,
a lot of people say that the Clone Wars is just like cleaning up of all the garbage and mess that
Mhm.
they created in the prequels, you know.
well, they spent so much time developing the relationship between Anakin and Padme, and then you know the tutelage of Anakin under
Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that was the main focus of that, and there was some cool stuff, but just while I was watching this, I'm like, man, there's just why didn't they spend more time on this? Why this is way more compelling or way more interesting to see. I don't know if it was a budget restriction or, I mean, you are trying to fit all of this content into a box and a movie and a package, whereas with an animated series, you have a lot more you have a lot more you have a longer leash. You know, you can do more.
Right.
You can tackle these bigger conflicts and give them the proper attention they deserve.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. Was it budgetary? I don't know.
I mean, it's just a lot of its time. I mean, like, think about you have what 7 seasons, you know, probably what 5 times 20, 100 plus like 30, it's like 130 episodes ish of the whole series times half an hour. You got what 65 hours of content, like
yeah,
as opposed to, you know, at most like 7 hours of movie. So, and also before Rise of Skywalker, I would say a lot of this stuff would not fly with like a mainstream audience, but then Rise of Skywalker went like jumped the shark 20 times with how crazy it went. So, you know, like, yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure if you could feed brain controlling Geonosian worms to a mainstream audience.
people love zombies, or did it this time.
That's true. I mean, season 2 really is like genre films in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like you have your heist, you have your
Mhm.
your zombie film, you have your
Godzilla.
film.
Ugh.
It's like
Rick is all about the
we'll get
Godzilla,
to it.
Godzilla beast.
the Godzilla arc.
I mean, one thing well, so like when you look at the Clone Wars as a whole, I think that when you compare it to the percentage of just what they focused on plot wise, like when you look at the Clone Wars film, it's mainly it's more about the relationships and the love story of Anakin and Padme, and then also like his coming of age in a way, or the resistance that he has against Kenobi, which is also a theme in the cartoon, you know, the whole Clone Wars season, or series, I would assume.
Mhm. Yep.
But the Padme storyline, it takes a complete backseat in the Clone Wars so far. Like they have interaction, sure, but it's never the focal point. They're always they're not doing much together per se. Like there are episodes where they're together, but it seems like they definitely focused purposefully not on their relationship, which I don't know. Not that I hate the relationship or something like that, but it's just
Yeah.
interesting to contrast the two.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, like I mean, like
You don't-
Padme's
You don't want them to be together.
Padme's a good idea for a character, and like I think at times is a good character, but literally every time she shows up in the show, it's a bad episode.
Yeah.
Like I'm not sure if there's a single
Yeah.
good episode with Padme like as a focal point.
Not really.
Yeah, they don't have her do much, or like it seems like when they do involve her, she makes like a poor decision or a hasty decision and just kind of like foolhardy in a way, or I don't know.
Yeah, it's basically if you see Padme, Jar Jar Binks, or R2D2 and C3PO as the main focus of the episode, it's gonna suck.
I'm bringing Eth Koth into the mix here because
Sure.
those episodes aren't great either. He's not in there a lot, but when he's captured by Grievous in episode was it 9?
Yeah,
Wow.
grievous intrigue.
Yeah, not good.
He's taken hostage.
He goes down like
yeah.
a bitch.
He sure does.
Yeah.
I was wondering when he would come in. I liked in episode 10, The Deserter. I thought that was a cool episode because the clones, the clones, I still don't really have that much of a connection to the clones, or they're obviously very important in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
I don't think they really get their due until like season 3. The beginning of season 3, I think they really get their due. And then you start connecting to the clones more. They tried to push them hard, and I don't think we could really like make a connection. But we'll get to it in a later episode. But season 3, I think, really makes the clones like have some personality and have some like staying power. So
Because as a viewer, I'm still struggling at this point. I'm like, okay, these are just some test tube babies, freaks,
sure.
weirdos that I don't know.
The first 2 episodes of season 3, I think, changed the game on like the clones.
They're very disposable. Like in episode, like in season 2 or in season 1, they just die left and right, and nobody actually gives a shit. It seems like they're just like, oh, there goes a clone into hyperspace. Just
I mean, like
out
even in season 7, like an episode ago, is like, here's named clone, and if they have a name, it's a big deal. Like usually they're important, and named clone died like 60 seconds after being introduced.
Yeah,
right.
I was like, oh well.
Here's Swamp's clone, River clone, Pond's clone.
Right. Yeah, Pond's died, and nobody really cared. They're just like, oh, that was Pond's.
That was Pond's.
They're just like,
when he was killed, they were like, that was Pond's. Okay.
It was so weird. Yeah, like the season 7 thing is like, I saw someone on the episode discussion on Reddit was like, oh man, I'm so sad this character died. I'm like, we saw that character for like 45 seconds. Like I had to double check to make sure he hadn't been in like some random obscure episodes. Like, nope, that was it. That was
right.
He was like, it's like, here's this guy. This guy's dead. I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
He's like literally a red shirt.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, I liked Deserter because it showed a clone who had defected and or is that the word, defected?
Yeah.
Okay, they defected, and Rex ended up having to stay with them as a farmer, and then they had a kind of a cool. I thought that was a cool episode.
Yeah.
The commando droids were in it, which I thought were pretty sweet.
Those were cool.
I do wonder why those aren't in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
I think aren't
they're
they
in some events, aren't they?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they're not like ones that you can actually use, but they're ones that like you can play against.
They might be. Are they in like the assault battle,
battles?
maybe?
Assault battles, yeah.
They seem way more with it and potent than any other droid so far in the series.
Yep.
Like they can fight melee. They seem pretty accurate with a blaster, which is throughout the season becomes even more evident. I think like the droids as an army it's not a compelling army to me. It's not a compelling story. They're just like robots, and they're not even good at being robots. They have they're bumbling idiots half the time, especially the B1s. Like, oh, we bumped into each other. Oh, oops. Really, you're a fucking robot. You wouldn't just bump into each other. You wouldn't have this same interaction at the one time. So I guess, or at the same time, I guess the point though is that they're droids, and the downside of them is that they're not very good droids. Like they're just droids. I don't know. It's kind of weird and backwards. Like if they were actual robots and actual machines, they'd be like ridiculously accurate with their blasters. They would just be murdering machines, but they're not. They're just like blithering idiots who suck at everything.
Yep.
Yeah, like imagine having like 5 IG-11s versus the entire droid army in all of the prequels. It's like, all right, cool.
Exactly.
They're essentially like going to war with old shitty desktop computers that require floppy disks to update or something. I don't know. Okay, so lightsabers lost. So I like that episode too.
Yep.
Oh, go ahead. Did you have something?
I was just gonna say don't skip over episode 12 because there's a lot of good stuff there.
Yeah. I liked episode 11. Lightsaber lost. This is the one where Ahsoka gets her lightsaber stolen by a pickpocket and has to track it down. I liked it more because they introduced a new character, Master Sanube, which I thought was pretty cool. Like this ancient Jedi master that she got teamed up with, and who kind of had to teach her lessons of patience and given that she's Ahsoka and trained by Anakin, who has none. I thought it was cool that they brought in that character.
Can I share one quote that I love?
Sure.
Are we on 11 or 12?
11.
We're on 11. Hold it. Never mind. Go ahead.
Okay.
Continue. Mine's for 12.
That's all I had on that one. I mean, it was kind of a dumb plot device. Oh, someone stole my lightsaber, but at the same time, I did enjoy it.
Yeah.
So Mandalore plot, episode 12.
Yep. I personally love the back and forth between all the stuff between Obi-Wan and Satine. I just think is just like building into something.
I loved it.
He's got such a hard on for her.
Well, to see Obi-Wan develop his backstory, because Obi-Wan there's not a lot of development with him. He was a person. Okay, great. He's this perfect saint monk dude who never did anything wrong, and
very black and white in the flagship movies. Like you don't get to see a lot of his like episodic, faults that like are a big part of his character.
I mean,
yeah.
Don't tell that to prequel memes. They might crucify you for that. Yeah.
Right. So Mandalore plot, that's episode 12. The intro thing for this, the whatever motto, if you ignore the past, you jeopardize the future. I personally love Clone Wars for all the things they put as like their intro taglines. I think that's some of the best stuff for it is like going back to it. It's like there's so many good like teaching things there. If you ignore the past, you jeopardize the future. I'm a history teacher, so that's a big thing for me. One of the quotes that I loved in this one was Obi-Wan saying to Satine, "After all these years, you're even more beautiful than ever." And Satine says, "Kind words for a man who accuses me of treachery." He just like puts it on hard for her all the time, and like she I don't know if she ever really like plays into his advances. If you call him
really,
advances.
you got that impression that he was laying it on thick.
I think in that point he was.
Okay.
Yep.
I got the impression she was more into him, or more forthcoming with her like advances.
It depends on the scene, I would say, for like who's pushing it harder. But like, he's definitely got a hard on for her.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's definitely a two-way street. Obviously, he chooses the side of not pursuing that path.
And I love. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was like, even though he has that moment later, that's probably the last episode of the arc where he's like, if you asked me to leave, I would have. Super powerful.
Yeah, that was super cool to see. Like, kind of humanizing him, because Kenobi is always painted as this saint who never did anything wrong. I mean, he was sort of he questioned Qui-Gon Jinn a few times in Phantom Menace, but for the most part, it just seemed like he was, he just did everything right.
Well, I mean, even then when he's questioning Qui-Gon, but Qui-Gon is pretty much like he is definitely the more radical Jedi. If you're gonna then traditional, he's questioning it because Obi-Wan is more the straight-laced by the book kind of thing. So this fact that he did have this temptation is pretty humanizing for him.
Yeah, for sure.
And then the sneaky part about it too is that he is this very disciplined Jedi, and he's by the book. But at the same time, he took Anakin as an apprentice when he never should have been an apprentice. Qui-Gon should have never taken him as an apprentice, or taken him on. So he's continued to build on this. It would eventually ends up being one of the biggest shitbags in the entire Star Wars plot line, and creates this monster, and doesn't kill him like we talked about before in.
Should have killed him.
Revenge of the Sith.
Well, then if he kills him, then we don't ever have Star Wars, because there's no Darth Vader.
It's a great point.
He's got to leave him.
A valid point.
Got to leave him alive.
But okay, yeah. So Mandalore plot was a cool episode. So they investigating rumors of conspiracy surrounding Duchess Satine and Mandalore. Obi-Wan uncovers the truth about a mysterious Mandalore plot. So they introduced the Death Watch, which was a cool idea, and the planet of Mandalore, which we haven't really heard much about at this point.
Yeah.
And we don't know the fate of the planet at this point either, with having seen the Mandalorian, and then now going retrospectively back to season 2 of Clone Wars. It's kind of starting to fill in some gaps.
I can tell you that their fate is not good.
Right. It can't be.
Not gonna go well.
No.
Season 7 of the Clone Wars and Rebels will help fill that in for you.
Yeah, because I mean, obviously with the Mandalorian, it's like, why don't you just go home, man? Go to Mandalore. It looks awesome. It looks great. It looks lush.
No.
But
It's all in one piece. There's no political strife.
right.
It's fine. You'll be good.
We also get John Favreau. He voices.
Oh yeah, he's Pre Vizsla, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
Pre Vizsla and Warrior Commander. I don't know if that's just a miscellaneous character or if that's
it's probably just
title or
extra.
But I recognized it. Did you guys recognize it initially?
Not initially.
I did. He has a very distinct voice. But that was cool, and that shows you, that obviously he's been interested in the Mandalorian specifically their plot line, which is cool. So it introduces the Mandalorians, the Death Watch, and then Pre Vizsla pulls out the dark saber, whips that bad boy out.
The Darksaber is like one of the coolest things in all of Star Wars.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he talks about how his ancestors procured it or whatever, and
Yep.
he has a lightsaber battle.
Yep.
Well, a saber battle with Obi-Wan.
Yep. It's going to be a big part of the Mandalorian season 2, I think.
Oh yeah.
So.
Yeah. So first time we've seen the dark saber, right?
Yes.
I think so. Yeah.
In canon, like in timeline wise, chronologically,
Yep.
it's the first time.
Yep.
Pretty sweet.
Pretty cool.
So then we keep continuing through the Mandalore. And they continue to build upon the relationship, or learning more information about the relationship of Obi-Wan. And I do like how Anakin is very interested in Obi-Wan's relationship with Satine.
Right.
I thought that was cool. Like he's like getting a chance to kind of razz Obi-Wan, like, oh, Obi-Wan getting some ass on the side. I see what's going on here.
Yeah, he is.
He's like, and he even asks, he's like, did you ever, it's like, this is a kid's show. He's asking if he ever, took Satine back behind the space shuttle. Andrew Coulter is in the chat, by the way. He said that the last battle episode of Rebels finally gives droids their due when we're talking about droids. So.
Yeah, it definitely
Interested to check that out. But thanks for watching, Andrew, and welcome aboard. Hopefully I didn't slaughter your last name too bad. Okay.
We could
Anything
probably
else on Mandalore you want to touch on, or no?
We could probably skip quite a few of these episodes and just jump into what I think is Brick's favorite episode, episode 18, The Zillo Beast.
Oh, yeah.
And episode 19, The Zillo Beast Strikes Back.
You guys get started on that. I'm going to go get rid of the 2 beers I drank.
I would say the only thing in between those, the last episode we talked about and the Zillo Beast penultimate episode, is getting into Hondo more.
Yeah, the Hondo comes back, which is cool. And dude, Hondo ends up fighting Anakin with a vibro staff or something, like a Magna Guard weapon.
Yeah.
And he goes toe to toe with Anakin.
Hondo is great. Like, I don't understand why he's not in the game. We have so many characters in this game that like barely scratch the surface of like important like plot devices, and like Hondo is so important in all of this. He's in Rebels. Like,
he's a badass.
It doesn't make sense of why he's not in this. He's even on like the Galaxy's Edge ride. Like when you go to like see the Millennium Falcon ride at Disneyland or Disney World, at least at Disneyland, Hondo is the one to greet you when you're like in the queue, and like he talks to you for like a good 20 minutes. Like I feel like he's a character that like needs to be in the game.
Yeah, he's awesome. I mean, he is really powerful too in season 1 and in season 2. Like him and his pirates incapacitate Dooku, Anakin, and Kenobi, and they seem to get the upper hand pretty often when they do interact. And there is a connection too with the bounty hunters. Bounty hunters, I was kind of pleased throughout this season and the prior season. Bounty hunters are pretty badass in these, as far as like going toe to toe with with Jedi or hanging in there, like they're pretty formidable, and they don't really get their due in the films.
Especially this season, though, it's like they focus on them quite a bit. You know, they really show like all the ins and outs of like what they can do. Like it was made to be a bounty hunter season. So
Yeah.
with that being said, Aura Singh, whoever voices her, I feel like does not get like that character's mystique correctly. She sounds like just like a basic Diane, you know, like somebody who's just like an average white girl who's just like saying the lines, but not really like putting the feeling into it. When I was watching her do like the finale episode, I was like, I don't know, I don't think that voice really fits. And I don't really feel like that about like many of the characters in this series, but Aura Singh, I don't think they got the casting correct on. She's
Her
very,
name's
very,
Jamie.
very basic.
Jamie something. I thought I thought her voice was familiar, but I was wrong.
Yeah.
It's not familiar.
I mean, in this arc, she's basically like the evil stepmother type for Boba, which is like,
Telling Boba to kill people and stuff like that. Yeah.
That was cool. I like that they brought Boba in. That was a cool storyline, I thought, as well.
Yeah.
You know, feeding off of the fact that Mace Windu decapitated his dad
Yeah.
in front of him.
Yep.
That was pretty cool that I thought that they brought in Boba. I mean, gosh, he really unleashed some destruction in his move over, Chucky. We got Boba Fett here. We got the infant how old is that kid? 8, 9?
I don't know.
I liked in the finale when like Hondo is leading Plo Koon and Ahsoka to like the cantina with Aura, and Boba's kind of like in the background, and like Plo Koon sits down and he's like, wait, you're not the Jedi that I was asking for, that we were waiting for. And like they were waiting for Mace to come because like Boba wanted to kill Mace because Mace killed Jango. So there was some cool stuff they built up around this season. So I thought that was kind of a cool thing in the finale episode.
So Zillo Beast
was stupid.
Very
overall.
Stupid.
I didn't like it.
A Godzilla ripoff.
Yep.
And even just the idea. So there's this ancient creature that's awoken on the Doug planet. Which we get to see Doug.
Malastare. Yeah.
I like that they kind of a little tip of the hat to that species, but it's like this ancient creature that was supposed to have been extinct, and this was the final one of its kind, and it had this really tough, indestructible armor. And Chancellor Palpatine decides, well, we need to kill this thing and mass create its armor, or mass reproduce find a way to use its armor into our army.
But even not kill it, like bring it back so that we can like learn from it, and then we can like figure stuff out. So like you're bringing it back so it's not even dead. Like you're trying to like figure out like how its armor works,
which is just a poor
terrible plan
from the beginning. Like
terrible plan.
You're gonna bring it into like this densely populated city or where the fucking Senate operates.
Yeah.
And it's just going to be okay. You're going to put it in a big old hangar, have no problems. And then even the premise of like, okay, so you're going to take this ancient creature and then you're going to make new types of armor from it.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to make your army stronger. Like it just doesn't make sense to me.
Doesn't check out.
Like, I mean, the important part of it is like, they're like, oh, it's lightsaber resistant. So Palpatine's the bad guy and he does Order 66. So he wants lightsaber resistant armor, which also, I mean, it comes up in like one of the Dooku Jedi lost, I think, or no, it's Thrawn Treason. No, Thrawn Alliances. He like also tries to produce like another like lightsaber resistant like battle droid and also clone trooper armor. And it's like,
oh,
okay.
Yeah. It's just Palpatine's shown throughout the saga and all this stuff that he's, always trying to do experimentation, whether it's kidnapping forced of children or harnessing the strength of the Zilbeast. He's always trying to like, manipulate things to get to his end goal. So
yeah, checks out.
Yeah, and he it's even risky when the Zillo Beast ends up waking up and they don't The Zillow Beast Strikes Back is the name of the episode. He almost gets killed by this thing or attacked by it, or almost has to probably use his Sith powers in one way to not be crushed by this thing, because
Right.
yeah, there was like a clone. I think it was between him and a clone, and then he ends up riding R2, which was lame. Yeah, you can
Yeah.
just ride R2D2 apparently.
I think it was like in the behind the scenes that I read somewhere that it was trying to show that the Zillow Beast knew that he was like a bad guy, basically.
Oh, okay.
It's like, I don't know.
That just seems incredibly risky of him, to bring this giant Godzilla beast to where he operates out of. I think if he was that concerned with procuring the armor and trying to figure out this way to make his army more, make it indestructible to Jedi, that it would have been a better conceived plan. But
I mean, yeah, but I guess Palpatine is nothing if not ambitious and has full of hubris. So it makes sense, I guess.
right.
Also, Slevin's in the chat and basically said just what's up. So what's up, Slevin?
What's up, Slevin? He's in the chat. Thanks for joining, man. Guildmate and platoon filler extraordinaire, among other things.
I got
And
one
strong-
more beer.
Strong
Gotta grab one more
defense.
beer from the fridge.
Okay, yeah. Let's grab some beer. I'm gonna grab a beer too. Jacob, you're on your own. The
All
ship's
right.
yours.
Whew. All right, so we're gonna talk about the Dooku Jedi Lost audio drama while these two are away. Just kidding. No. Yeah. They did skip the Bounty Hunters episode, which I thought was very good. And that's basically a Seven Samurai Kurosawa thing, which also it's the same premise as the Cara Dune, or not Cara, well, yeah, the Cara Dune episode in Mandalorian where they're trying to defend the villagers from the ATST. It's basically the same exact thing, except there's not 7 of them. That was a good episode. And also Cat and Mouse, that's another good one. Introduces Admiral Trench, who obviously becomes more important as the series goes on. Although he has few appearances, I think they're pretty important. And you also see the stealth ship, which, if you're a super hyper nerd like me, the stealth ship in the episode, the technology behind that goes into creating Tarkin's personal ship in the Tarkin novel by, is that James Luceno, I think? So, yeah, there you go. This is water, but cheers. Let's see. I don't know. I will say the Bounty Hunters episode, although, yeah, it's definitely really cool. It like that, tying it to Galaxy Heroes. It's like the episode makes me want to gear Embo, even though I know he's not worth my time. I mean, he's not a bad character, but there's so many other things I should do besides that. And they're back.
Where did Brick go?
I'm here. Got lost.
He came back from the drop ceiling half of the screen to the
Perfect.
cantina half.
I told you that's the cantina, man. It's in under construction.
Mhm.
Got a
Can't
really
have a
bad
full-
water leak.
Get a
If you're-
full canteen on your first virtual background.
Yeah, I mean, if your basement looked like that, I'd be really pretty impressed.
One day, after we get all this podcast money, man, it's just gonna be first. Why are you laughing? What?
Podcast money.
Once you get that big Raid Shadow Legends sponsorship, it's over.
Yeah, dude, that's coming. It's coming. They're gonna be knocking
Shadow
on the door any
Legends.
moment.
Raid Shadow Legends and Audible and Squarespace are going to just bankroll your cantina basement dreams.
The
We're-
most
we're more-
ambitious game of 2020, whatever. I always see that ad.
We're more Casper mattresses
Oh,
fans
Casper,
here than
oh, yeah.
anything else.
Yes.
What,
So,
hymns? Is hymns?
Oh,
your
yeah,
next
4
game?
hymns.
Yeah.
We were gonna. We tried to get a ball wash, like a male hygiene sponsorship.
They did not return our emails. I don't know why.
Hey guys, we would happily peddle ball wash for you guys. I mean,
Our balls smell terrible. I don't know. Like, throw us some gear. We'll tell you how it works. We'll let you know how our wives feel.
Why do you need ball wash? Number one, you can shower. That's an option. If your balls stink, you can take a shower. That's
We have to save water in the quarantine, man.
True. Maybe it makes
save
more sense
water.
now that COVID.
I mean, personally, I use the really advanced technology called soap.
Yeah.
But if you
What's
want
that?
to spend $9.99 a month, ball
Who
wash
has
is for you.
$9.99 a month to buy soap? I don't got that kind of money.
we're definitely not getting the ball wash sponsorship.
What do you
at
think
this
I
point.
am?
Hey, but just push some ball wash out. You're now Manscaped podcast. They do everything anyway. So
Manscaped. That's right.
Yep.
All right. So, yeah, we talked about Boba. Boba makes a return. I guess that's really it. I mean,
There's not a whole lot in the season as far as like arcs go. There's not a whole lot more, I don't think, really.
Yeah. Overall, what did you guys think? What would you Galaxy of Heroes rating? What would you give this bad boy?
I would say a 4.5. 4 Omegas, because there was one of my favorite arcs of the whole series in it, but then there was also like 2 that I couldn't stand.
What about you, Jacob?
I mean, yeah, it's kind of rough, like, because they're like, if you like split the season in half, like half the season is like I would say 6 out of 7, and then half of it's like a 2 out of 7. So I guess that also puts me at 4.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree.
That
But
seems about right. I mean, it's about. There's definitely some filler episodes in there. The Zillow Beast thing was. I don't know. It was they were 2 episodes. I don't know much.
We
to say
didn't even
about it.
discuss the Senate murders episode. I mean, come on.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'd say probably about a 4-star.
Yeah.
I do like it definitely is giving more context, I think, to a lot of things in the series, which is cool. It's like building on a bigger plot, or bringing, giving more, expounding more on characters that we already know and love, or dislike.
Yep.
Anakin honestly is way cooler, I think, in the Clone Wars
I agree.
series. Like, he's actually likable. I don't know.
Because Hayden Christensen is not involved.
He does do some pretty dark shit, though. That's one thing we haven't
yeah.
touched on,
Yeah.
like, especially in this season, like, you really start to see it. I mean, I kind of agree with it, though. Like, in the Satine episode where she's kidnapped by the Senate.
The assassin.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, only an evil person would murder me now. And then Anakin's like, hey, yo, what's up? And just stabs him in the back.
Yeah. And then
It's like-
they ask him, like, what's going on? And then he's just like, well, he was going to he was going to detonate the whole ship or kill and really, when you look at it just like on a pure life equation,
it's like he's not wrong.
Yeah.
But he's
He's not
also
wrong.
not
That's
being
what I was
very
thinking
Jedi-like there.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, even then, like going back to like the first arc when like all the Jedi, like him, Mace, and Obi-Wan are like, let's mind torture the bounty hunter so we can figure out where the holocron is. I'm like, that's fucked up, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely
It's
like,
crazy.
Well, it's
violence first.
Well, it's like like that one. It's like not even Anakin. It's like, yeah, the Jedi as a whole. Let's just like mind torture this dude because we need to figure out where our buddy is.
Yeah.
But then he also he tortures someone else. I forget who it was. I think was it Poggle. I think he tortures Poggle. To
They
figure
do
out like
torture Poggle, yeah.
yeah, like how to figure out how to stop the mind worm thing.
Yep.
Yeah, Anakin.
Oh yeah,
turns-
you're right.
Yeah, it turns out Anakin not the best dude.
No.
They brought it up too, and they were like, yeah, we're not going to go into all the details of how we learned of how the mind worm works, but we figured it out from Poggle.
Yeah, he's just like, yeah, Poggle just told me, don't worry about it. And they're like, how? It's like,
Yeah.
what? We just talked.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. It's in Geonosian. It's a whole thing. I can't really explain it. And then also like the rebellion or the constant Anakin second guessing Kenobi thing is evident towards the end of the series where Kenobi gives him a direct order, like, no, this is a cargo mission or whatever, and Anakin's like, no, I'm gonna go and destroy the ship.
Yeah.
By what was that guy's name? Trench or something like that.
Yep. Yeah, that was episode 16.
That character was kind of contrived, I thought. He had the tick noise, the
Right.
Yep.
thing, just like the Gungan leader. Like, come on, man, it's a little too on the nose.
Kind of silly.
There were a few times where there was some like really wacky accents, like in that lightsaber Lost episode. There's this like super Italian fish man, like he's I think he was like an investigator or something. Or,
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
it's like, it's a me, I'm a fish man. Hey, like it was just like really over the top.
Well, and there's the investigator with the cinemerge, like, well, I
Yes.
sound like this, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna tell you why that he's the murderer.
You guys, this Star Wars thing is it's set in space and it's all made up. You can make up anything you want. You don't have to go with Earth dialects. They seem like they always are like, this will be the Asian accent for this
So be it.
racial group or something. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You could do a lot of different things.
I would say worst accents would be investigator guy from the Cinemer episode, and then also like it makes sense, but the queen from the Geonosis arc was so grating. But
yeah, like it's like it was like she could understand English but also couldn't.
she basically
at
just like
times.
at the end of every like phrase, she would just like extend it into a hiss.
Yeah.
It's like,
Queen of the Greats.
I'm going to get you, Jedi. Son. Please stop.
Yeah. There are some rough accents on this show, but
She is my favorite kill of the whole season, Karina the Great. I don't know if she actually died, but I'm gonna assume that she did. So
Yeah.
knocking down the pillars.
Mhm. There's like another, because like there's another interesting Geonosian queen later on in like one of the comic books, because she adapts by having like zombie brood, and there's another one where like her bottom torso is like a droid factory, so she produces like droid Geonosian hybrids. So it's some weird comic book shit, but
Yeah, it sounds like it.
it's crazy.
Well, that's about all I had on Clone Wars. You guys got anything else you want to touch on? Clone Wars.
We didn't get to our favorite quotes and least favorite quotes.
Oh yeah, I didn't note any, but
You didn't note any?
no,
What?
I just finished it like 2 hours ago, man. That's impossible.
You should have been taking notes for the last 3 weeks.
No, I was taking on wrench and screwdrivers and staining things.
yeah, I got my like I guess favorite paraphrased quote. Would be, it was like, when Ahsoka and Barriss were buried under the droid factory, and Lumiere is like, it's not that I don't grieve for my Padawan, I will be sad for her, but it's not my place to try and undo what is fated. Like, I just have to kind of give up and move on and deal with what happened.
Lumiere is so like great in that arc. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm. It's again the juxtaposition of what a Jedi should be, whether it's right or wrong. It's what they're supposed to. What the idea.
I mean, I think that like the back and forth between her and Anakin are like, it's like some of like the most important stuff in like this whole series.
Mhm.
My favorite quotes were kind of topical. I love Kia de Mundi because he doesn't talk very much, but when he does, it's like important, and I love that. So in episode 7, Legacy of Terror, the rest of them are counting their kills, and then all of a sudden Kia de Mundi's like 65 Skywalker, and Anakin's like, I'm sorry. Kia de Mundi's like, my total was 65, so what do I win? Because he killed that many droids.
I didn't realize that. I missed that part.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
very
that was
like it's like a Legolas Gimli moment.
Yeah, that's classic. A lot of shows do that.
Yeah.
Game of
And then
Thrones.
I love Plo Koon is just like so up there and intelligent in like the Jedi hierarchy. So in like the finale of this season, he says to Ahsoka, and this time try to be more subtle. She says, "What do you mean?" He says, "What you've adopted many of your master's ways, including a lack of subtlety." And Ahsoka says, "Sorry, Master Plo." I love that idea that Plo Koon is like, Anakin is not the perfect Jedi, and he is kind of out there. He's kind of dramatic, and you've adopted some of those things. So I like that one too.
I did like Mace Windu, kind of along the same ilk. he says about Anakin. Anakin's doing some kind of rogue action, some crazy shit. I can't remember. Like towards one of the later episodes, and Kenobi says, "Oh, it looks like Anakin's doing one of his improvised plans."
Yep.
And then Kenobi's like, "How can it be a plan if it's improvised or something like that?"
Right. Yep.
Which is
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
And
I'd
the
say
way he
that-
says it, like the delivery is just like super. God, that doesn't even make sense. Like,
Yeah, I would say another thing to highlight would be the like pretty much Tara Sinube, like everything he says. Like, I mean, if you take it, it's it's very easy to dislike that episode, I would say, but it's slow and kind of plotty, and it doesn't go anywhere. But he definitely like embodies like the original trilogy, like Yoda and Obi-Wan teachings of like, it's not all about brute force. You take it slow, just feel things out, and you're gonna get to your goal eventually. You don't have to approach everything sabers out.
yeah, he's like and he's kind of like a turtle man, right? Isn't he?
Yeah, it's like a camel kind of turtle. I mean, he like his characteristics are like turtle. He's slow and everything like that. He kind of like looks like almost like a camel. It's weird.
Yeah, that was a cool episode.
Yeah. Any least favorite quotes?
I can't think of any.
For me, it was anything that Clovis said.
Yeah.
Did he bother you that much in this season, or is it just like the
Yes.
context of he was
No,
he had
I
like
think
3 lines?
I think he's honestly better in like when he shows up later. So
What season does he come in later? Is like season 5?
it's
6?
5. I think it's 6. I think it's 6.
Oh my god!
Yeah, because it's like the
it's so
5. It's
stupid.
like the 5's arc and then his arc.
Oh,
But like
God.
in this one, like he basically was just like, "Hey, Padme, we used to bang." So
Honestly, like Clovis is bad, but honestly, I think Anakin was worse in the episode. He's like, "Oh, I'm so angry and angsty that Padme would give attention to any other guy
Yeah.
that's not me." It's like,
yeah,
dude, just chill out.
calm your shit down, buddy.
one thing again with the Clone Wars about Anakin as far as like building his character, it just gets glossed over so much. I feel like in the movies, like Anakin from between the Clone Wars film and Revenge of the Sith, all of this crazy shit happens, and all of this like awesome character building stuff like really builds the legacy of what kind of a warrior he is, and he was a fucking general of an army. Like that's huge.
Yeah,
And really, the way it gets explained in the movies, it's just like a few sentences, like, "Oh yeah, the Clone Wars happened." It's just, I don't know. It's just very like, I don't know. I think they missed a great opportunity to build that character up better and make it more interesting and like kind of.
do you think in 10 years they're going to say the same thing about the sequel movies that
God.
whatever series they're going to make to fill in the gaps for all the stuff between the Rise of Skywalker?
Hey man,
And-
when
I don't
Resistance season 4 comes out, just wait.
I haven't seen
mean,
any of that series, so I have no idea what's going on.
I started watching it because quarantine, and it's like, I don't know, it's definitely more childish than the Clone Wars, but it kind of has a similar vibe if you watch like the Netflix Voltron series, where it's like, it definitely has a similar art style. It's kiddish at times, but it's just kind of wacky and almost a fun way that the Clone Wars, I would say, tried and failed to be, where it's like, oh, we're gonna be fun and cute at times with like Jar Jar episodes. I'm like, this sucks.
Yeah.
Maybe Rose. Maybe there's gonna really go into Rose's backstory and like how
I
she
swear to
became
God, I'm going to be
inventory.
Done with this. I'm not going to watch any more Star Wars if that happens.
But I think the main characters are, I think they have compelling storylines.
Yeah,
For the most part.
it's okay. You only got what, like 5 seasons of Clone Wars plus 6 movies, and then you get to see a season of Resistance. So in a couple months we'll be there.
Mm-hmm. All right. Events. You want to do any events?
Yeah, we got some events going on. Today's the 27th. So we are launching Territory War, week 4 of Grand Arena. On the 28th, we got Credit Heist. We got Rebel Roundup on the 29th, Contraband Cargo. We have Endor Omega Battle, Smuggler's Run on the 30th. That's all I have. I don't know if I have the May calendar.
Don't forget Mando's event. I think it starts on the 30th as well.
Yes, that's what Tales from the Outer Rim.
Oh yeah,
3
Yeah.
is Mando. Yep.
Is he Marquis too?
Yes,
Or do we
Marquis
know?
is also.
Do we even
Yep.
know?
Yep.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
Marquis. Yeah, I think it's like the 30th through like the 4th, probably something like that.
Well,
Similar
I
to-
guess I can stop farming Jawas because I've
would
been
I would
getting
im-
Jawa shards a lot.
I would imagine they put 3 characters out for each side, and then there's some kind of legendary event for Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
So
That's
my theory.
It could be similar to like, I don't know, maybe similar to like a CLS JTR event where you have to have like 5 bad guys to unlock like the 5th like person for the good guy squad.
Yep.
So
Fork to your nose. Who is going to be needed for the legendary Mando event? What are you
Well,
gonna need?
all the 3 that we have so far, light side. Then you're gonna need Moff Gideon. You're gonna need Inferno Trooper, and you're gonna need Imperial Remnant Death Trooper.
Ah, look at you, Darth Darkit, laying down the gauntlet. Feeling
Calling
good
it
about
right
that.
now.
I'm
I
just
like
gonna
it.
go the easy. Like I called this like several weeks ago, but I'm just gonna go stick with it. Mando, Cara Dune, Grief Karga, IG-11 Queel. That's gonna be like your 5 person squad. It seems like a little bit too easy for the unlock, but I think CG needs a good PR thing right now. So
They do.
You know, even though
certainly
it's
do.
still gonna be like the last character comes out like on a marquee like 3 weeks before Baby Yoda, so you've never been able to farm them. But it'll still be easier than what they've had recently.
I will say when we're playing the Grief Cargo event, you see Remnant Stormtrooper. I'm like, my kits were pretty spot on,
Yeah.
like you get the Remnant characters going on. So
Top Hat, what's up, man? You gonna give us a interview or what's going on?
CG Darth Target coming at you.
No,
Yeah.
it's really just like what was Coffee or whatever, CG Coffee or whatever his name is. He's like, hey, can you just like throw some dirt marks on the Stormtrooper model so we can have a more interesting event?
Basically.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, yo, Spaniard, Raging Spaniard, we need some dirt on these stormtroopers.
Real quick before we end this episode, we want to wish all of you a happy May the 4th, because this episode will be the last one that you hear before May the 4th.
Yeah. You guys
Right.
do anything special?
On May the 4th, we'll get to see Rise of Skywalker coming to Disney Plus. So
We got Rise of Skywalker, the finale of Clone Wars. They're actually releasing it on the 4th.
Yep.
And then also the Mandalorian Gallery, which is the behind the scenes series.
it's gonna be crazy. I'm really excited for that one.
Ooh.
You can see a lot more Gina Carano. So and that's why you're here.
Gina.
That's why I come to this podcast.
Gina. So check it out. I have plans for May the 4th with Mrs.
Gina Carano?
Hartnett. I wish. No. I've got my own Gina Carano. That's right.
Yeah.
Mrs. Hartnett. So check it out. We're gonna watch Rise of Skywalker. She's not gonna watch. She's just skipping the Last Jedi. She
That's
hasn't.
fine.
She's
That's fine.
going. I'm just gonna give her like a crash course just to refresh her what happened in the Force Awakens. Just like, boom, these are the key points. This is what happened. Boom, right into Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
And we're gonna eat tacos and
Cool.
I'm probably gonna get drunk. I mean, I think I have to on May the 4th.
You got to record
It's
it.
a holiday, right?
Just like take some vodka and some blue food coloring and call it spotchka. And then-
Spotchka.
Boom. We're drinking spotchka tonight. So yeah, you guys have any other plans for May the 4th? Do anything crazy?
What is time?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know, cause I put my podcast usually go live on Monday, so I record over the weekend, the day before. So having a Monday release kind of really fucks me up. So I have no idea what I'm doing yet.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I can't wait.
I'm gonna watch Rise of Skywalker a bunch of times.
So it's going live on Disney Plus on May the 4th.
May the
Correct.
4th. Yep.
That is
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah,
So-
Gallery, Rise of Skywalker, season 7, episode 12, all May
Wow.
4th.
A huge day.
And
Also,
Galaxy of Heroes.
Yeah, CG might do something cool too.
We're gonna get
A pack that costs $30.
Well, I think wasn't like the rumor. I don't know if it's confirmed or not. I thought I saw that gas is supposed to go up like this weekend or something like that.
no, no,
Brick's not ready.
no.
I got a pack for you, Brick.
I'm sitting on about 6,500 crystals. So
What?
if I
Jesus.
can,
Are you really?
yeah,
That's crazy. 6,500.
Yeah, not 65,000. I mean, that's not that much. You can buy
6,500 is so many crystals. I have
Yeah.
like 130 crystals.
I'm about
Horny.
1,000 right now. I burned them all getting JTR for Chewie and Han, and I'm slowly
saving
building
them
back up.
I'm saving them just for gas, just to be ready.
6,500 crystals.
Yeah, and I'm maintaining, which is awesome.
That's unbelievable.
I'm just like I'm trying to get my payouts as high as I can in both shards, both arena and ship shard.
Yeah,
But
cool.
Man, I can't. Are you serious? Do you think it's going to come out then? Because I'm not going to be ready at all.
I swear I saw a rumor for that, but
Man,
It sounds like CG.
because we predicted May 14th.
Yeah,
That's what all of my projections have been.
I'll definitely be ready. I've got a 4-star Shock T Gear 4, so I'll be ready.
Slevin said paint by numbers. Do you guys know what that means?
I saw it a while ago and I didn't address exactly what he was talking about.
Paint by numbers.
I mean, it's just like basically going like formulaic for something. So I don't know if that's like talking about like the episodes or something like that.
Yeah, probably would have made more sense if we read it while we were talking, whatever we were talking about. But sorry, Slevin. That's it, right?
That's the end. That's the end of the episode.
And check out Jacob's podcast, The Spice Den, if you like Star Wars stuff. Why don't you give everybody a plug here, Spice Den, Jacob?
Yeah, so I'm at Spiced Pod on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me basically on most podcasting services. I basically just talk about super nerdy Star Wars stuff. Right now, obviously, it's Clone Wars, but I do books and comic books and all that stuff. So if you want to hardcore nerd out, it's a good place to go.
Awesome, man.
Especially
Thanks for...
if you don't prefer drunk guys talking about Star Wars and forgetting what they're talking about while they're talking about it.
Yeah, if you want like actual information, check out the Spice
Go to the
Den.
Spice Den. Yep.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on, man. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. We have 5 more seasons of this, so maybe hitting you up again.
It depends on the seasons.
Okay. Well, you get to choose at this point. I mean,
There's some bad ones.
Yeah, there might be like you're like, hey, you want to come back for like season 4? I was like, hey, you know what? I got too much stuff going on.
I'm so busy. My season 4 timeline is just awful.
This is one of the good ones of all of them, I would say.
This is one of the better ones.
This is one of the better ones.
And this is a 4-star.
Again,
What did you fucking sign me up for? Jesus.
It's again, the problem is it's a lot of shit. But then like fans of the Clone Wars, there are people that love the Clone Wars, but then we actually talk to them about it, they're like, well, yeah, but you skip like 60
9
episodes of the whole season of the whole series. And like, well, that's not the season.
That's like saying The Last Jedi is great.
Of 147 episodes, there's probably 13 that are good.
Yeah.
12 that are great.
Well, even going into this one, Dark had told me you were like, there's a few bad ones. A few, I mean, half. I mean, half are bad. Half are bullshit. Half are like
75% of season 2 is bad.
It's like
I hate that 25%.
25% is like spot on, buddy.
or that 15 seconds of that one episode where they actually give you some development of these characters that you know and love.
Dude,
Yeah,
just
exactly.
wait till season 6. Like, I'll keep it short, but like, it's literally some of the best Star Wars that's ever been made, and then also like a 3-episode Jar Jar arc where he has sex.
Oh,
So bad.
I think we might need to stop our chronological viewing of
Jar Jar's gotta
all
get
Star
some
Wars
booty,
content
then.
at this point. Maybe we can just like pick and choose. Like, you know what? I got the Clone Wars, so maybe we'll just jump right into Revenge of the Sith.
Yep. All right, people.
All right, thanks for listening, y'all.
Hit us up on this stuff and don't drink in hyperdrive.
That's right.
Cool.
Good stream, boys.